Okay. Mic 1, check, check. Mic 1, check, check.
Test.
Good. Turn this down. All right, I think we got what we're looking for here. Stand by, folks. We'll be starting the stream shortly. Metcalf was able to hold that, but they stayed with the puck back behind the net. Blue got it, took a chance out in front to Zeal with a tap in that will score. Parks out of the shotgun, takes the snap, stepping, looking, back shoulder fade to Mackey, and he catches it for a Red River touchdown.
It's time for the best in local sports coverage with KNOX Live Sports and News Radio 1310 KNOX.
Puck goes free to the high slot, picked up Lovejoy, wrister, and he scores. Reardon working right side, defended the entire way. A stop by Dookie. She looks into J.C. Reardon, the high-low is there.
The following is a presentation of KNOX Live Sports, presented by Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales.
Off to the right, down to the doorstep. Hoganson, a backhander, he scores. What a play for Griffin Hoganson.
Let's go live to tonight's presentation.
Well, we welcome you to Cushman Field this evening in our coverage of high school football on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports this evening. We are happy to have you along for week number 3 of the high school football season. Tonight we should have a really, really good matchup as the Dickinson Mavericks come to town to take on the Grand Forks Central Knights. Ryan Cunningham and Adrian Cummings with you here this evening as we get ready for what should be a great contest between these two teams tonight. And Adrian, I think that right now we're very optimistic about the start that Grand Forks Central is having. Right. But if you're Dickinson, you're very optimistic about the start that you're having, especially after the week you had last week against Williston.
We were talking to each other up here in the press box a little bit about, will this team game be kind of the maker game? You've got to figure out, are we made for the season? Are we legitimate? Central's had a pair of very nice outings, as has Dickinson. We'll see tonight which team maybe is going to come out on top and kind of get a little bit of taste of what that rest of that season is going to come like. This is really the first game that's going to be the rubber meeting the road, I would say.
Absolutely. The first week out for Grand Forks Central, they stopped Bismarck St. Mary's here, and that's when St. Mary's was getting some statewide recognition in the poll. Then they go on the road last week and they beat Jamestown, and that's a win that I think a lot of people looked at. They held Jamestown to just 7 points, very few yards, did everything they wanted to offensively, and it was almost all on the ground. They showed you that they can be a very dynamic team in the backfield and a lot of weapons to try to stop back there.
Yeah, and Bill Nelson's team is not one, Ryan, that often gets out-coached, but I would say that Coach Schauer and his staff got very, very darn close last week. I mean, that's a Jamestown team that has been a legitimate statewide threat multiple years in a row, and Central going on the road and only holding them to 7 defensively is an excellent performance. Like you said, Central clearly has got, some ability to play on the ground, but they also have a nice pair of receivers that they can spread the ball out to, so it'd be interesting to see what side of the attack they choose to use tonight.
And for those of you in the Dickinson area, the big key behind Grand Forks Central this year is that they returned their top 9 players defensively from a year ago, and that's where they've been very good so far this year. But let's talk about Dickinson. Let's talk about Nate Stevenson. So far this year, 52 pass attempts. He's completed 70% of those. We're talking 397 yards in 2 games, 6 touchdowns. They seem like they have the real deal calling signals this season for the Mavericks.
Stevenson, Ryan, is bona fide, and that is the 1 or 2 words, depending on how you spell it, that I would use. He is a bona fide passer. He is a legitimate threat to throw the ball back there in a way that we don't often see at this high school level. I mean, this is a kid that actually can get the ball up there and throw a nice tight spiral and really, really spread the field. Stevenson is legitimate, and Central's going to have their hands full defending him tonight.
Absolutely, it'll be a great matchup.
On top of that, he's mobile. I mean, he can. It's not that he can just sit back there and pass. He can get up and spread the field with his legs. It'll be very interesting to see what they do tonight against him.
Should be a really fun night with a lot of good playmakers on the field in this one tonight. We're glad you joined us for it as we bring it to you courtesy of our premier sports partners. They include Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks, and also Rivard's Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. And stick around because we have a lot coming up on our pregame report here this evening. We're going to take you through some player interviews that we have with Brooklyn Bruce. He's our player spotlight tonight for Grand Forks Central. We'll have an opportunity to talk to a kid that a year ago got an injury in football and he was told he may never run again. And he was back ready to play basketball for Grand Forks Central when the basketball season rolled around. We'll talk with Jake Schauer, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights, about a great week that they had last week and what they have still to settle coming up this week with Dickinson and the threats that the Mavericks will bring to the field tonight. And our starting lineups in football, we're scheduled for a 6 o'clock kickoff tonight here in Grand Forks at Cushman Field. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our coverage of high school football. Tonight it's Central and Dickinson on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports this evening. We are coming to you live this evening from Cushman Field in downtown Grand Forks, where tonight we will see Grand Forks Central play host to Dickinson this evening in what should be a fantastic high school football matchup between the Mavericks and the Grand Forks Central Knights. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings with you here this evening from Cushman Field, and we're about to bring you our player spotlight that we have for tonight's matchup. It's a new feature that we've been able to add here throughout the course of our season, and it's been a lot of fun to have here throughout the course of the year to get to know some of these athletes that we have playing for our teams this year. But Adrian, before we go to the conversation with Brooklyn Bruce, Let's talk about Brooklyn Bruce a little bit. An outstanding defensive secondary that Grand Forks Central has this year.
Yes.
He's a big part of it. But you go back a year ago, he's already factoring it on being probably a favorite to be an all-EDC type of basketball player for Central a year ago. He gets to this point in the season, the football season, and has an injury where they had to actually cut out some of the muscle of his leg, and he was told, "You're never running again." He was back in time for the first basketball games of the year for Grand Forks Central. This is a kid that's tough. We're glad to have him in the backfield for Grand Forks Central.
Ryan, you beat me to it. I was going to give this thing a basketball spin zone immediately, knowing, where I prefer to call. I was talking to Dan Carlson last year, probably about this time, and he was saying that Brooklyn Bruce is probably a 20-point-a-night player in the EDC, and that's just in basketball. We're talking about his second sport here in football. He's probably an all-EDC defensive talent, and Central is much better off having him in the backfield. It'll be very interesting to hear his story about how he overcame what I can only imagine is some terrible news for any athlete to hear at the doctor's office.
Yeah, when you're a junior and you're looking at losing a season and then another season, but to be told you're never going to run again, and that's something that comes up in our conversation. For him to just say, no, I'm going to run again, that's a fantastic story, isn't it?
Speaks to determination and hard work, and I'm sure all the intangibles that any Central coach loves to have about a Brooklyn Bruce type player, someone that's just going to put their head down and work, and clearly he did that, and he's done that all year on the football field and on the basketball court and on the track. I mean, he's just an all-around excellent athlete, someone we would call a standout.
Yeah, we're going to have fun watching him tonight. We'll see if he can get the ball. But this evening, we had a chance to catch up with Brooklyn Bruce, a wide receiver and a defensive back for this Grand Forks Central Knights football team. Let's catch up with Brooklyn Bruce in our pregame spotlight that we have for you this evening. Brooklyn Bruce is our guest today in our player spotlight. Brooklyn's a name that we've been saying for a while due to his connections with basketball for Grand Forks Central. Obviously back on the football field this year after an injury a year ago as well. We're going to talk to Brooklyn and find out about some of what it is that makes Brooklyn tick. But Brooklyn, before we get there, let's just kind of take you back a year. I know that right around maybe halfway through the year or something like that, maybe a little earlier, you found out that your football season last year was going to be cut short due to a leg injury, and you had initially been told it might be a whole year kind of thing, and you got yourself back and ready to go for basketball. What was that like? And, tell me a bit about the process of getting ready to go again, but then also being able to go play football this year. It's just got to be a relief to be back on the field at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, as soon as it happened, they told me, like, I might never run again and all that, and I just kind of used it all as motivation to get back better than I ever was. So just use it all to come back harder, be the better player.
Boy, I'll tell you what, to be told you're not going to run again and then end up to be in the shape that you're in, that's fantastic. So awesome job for you to get rehab. But let's talk about football. Let's find out how Brooklyn Bruce got involved with football. What was your introduction to it? Did it happen before or after basketball? And kind of a favorite memory from playing football at a young age?
Yeah, no. So I started when I was really little, and I played with my friends, and I started in like the Grand Forks League, and we always had like pretty much the worst team in the league, but it was still fun. And I started as a quarterback, so I played quarterback all the way up until 8th grade, and then I actually played tight end in 8th grade, and then wide switched to wide receiver in high school. But I always played like soccer and football, and then kind of was hard to choose one once I got to high school, and football coach convinced me to play football and told me I couldn't play soccer. So I kind of did that, and then I started taking it more serious, and now I'd say I like it just as much as basketball. So yeah, I'm grateful I played football.
Well, you play an interesting position, play defensive back, a little wide receiver, that type of thing, and obviously you love to get out there and be athletic. But let's talk about the academic part of Brooklyn Bruce. When you're in school, time to go ahead and take the studies seriously. What is it that you like to pursue as far as academics, your favorite subject, things you like to do while you're in the learning mode?
Yeah, I'd have to say, like, I've always been kind of ahead in math. I've always been good at math, and it's not my favorite, but I've always been good at it, so I kind of like doing it. But I have to say my favorite is science. I really like learning new stuff in science. I had chemistry last year, and I really enjoyed it, so.
All right, well, now let's talk about the hobbies for Brooklyn. I'm guessing that you don't have a lot of free time. We've mentioned basketball can consume a good part of your life, football as well, and you're busy being an athlete a lot. But when you do have some free time, Brooklyn, what would we find you doing at that point?
Yeah, no, so whenever I'm not busy with sports, whether it's during school or even I play basketball all summer too. So whenever I get free time, I like going to the lake with my friends, and I like to go bass fishing, believe it or not, and I like golfing too.
I can get behind somebody that likes to go fishing and likes to go golfing. You're cut from my own soul, Brooklyn. All right. All right,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up with being a Grand Forks Central Knight. And you've been a Knight in a lot of different capacities. Obviously, basketball, you've been a varsity guy for a long time over there making some plays, and football, obviously. So tell me what it means to you to put on a Grand Forks Central uniform and what it's like to be with the guys that you're playing with right now.
No, yeah, it's just feel, you can always feel the tradition behind your back. There's a lot of tradition in the teams and everything. A lot of people looking out for you playing, and just a lot of people watching, a lot of people looking up to you. All the kids that are coming to Central, they're always at the games, talking to you after the games and everything. Is just feels good to have all that tradition and all those people cheering for you, whether they go to Central or not.
And, of course, Brooklyn Bruce joining us here tonight from the Grand Forks Central Knights football team. And for Brooklyn, we asked him about his favorite academic pursuits. Now, I've done a handful of these already here. And, Adrian, we've heard math, gym.
Gym is a popular pick, generally.
Absolutely.
Weightlifting, you're from Jamestown.
Fair, okay. So we asked Brooklyn, what's your favorite academic pursuit? What do you like to pursue when you're in school? Science. He said he had chemistry last year and he liked it. He takes on the tough injuries. He takes on the tough assignments every week. And apparently he's taking on the classroom too, Adrian. How about that, huh?
Hey, you got to like that, Ryan. A little bit different, a pleasant surprise from Brooklyn, and a great story as well. I mean, overcoming, again, a treacherous injury and just committing himself, but not only on the field, but on the court as well. And certainly the Maroon is reaping the benefits of his hard work and efforts.
Yeah, he's going to be a lot of fun to watch tonight. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch throughout the course of the season. Our pregame report this evening is brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And it's also brought to you tonight by True North Equipment. True to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley to help you do your best work with your John Deere products that you have come to know and love generationally. At Signature Graphics and Apparel, they can take a lot of different materials like metal, plastic, wood, and put those logos to work onto apparel that you can use. It pops, it's durable, it's a very different way to show off your logo for business, for teams. They've got their custom embroidery, and they'll take care of vinyl signage for you as well at Signature Graphics and Apparel. They bring you our pregame report that we have for you here tonight. Well, coming up, we'll still talk with the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights, Jake Schauer. That conversation coming up later in our broadcast. We have a new top 5 football poll out for Class 2A, and that football poll has references to both Dickinson and Grand Forks Central. So we'll talk about that when we get into Drive for the Title coming up here in just a couple of moments to run you through what's on the line in this one coming up tonight. So do stay with us from Cushman Field this evening as we continue our coverage of high school football here in Grand Forks. It's the Central Knights at home to take on the Dickinson Mavericks on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics, we craft your vision, you watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop proudly supports our local high school athletes on the field, the court, and beyond. Just like sports, adventure starts with the right gear. The Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports this evening. We're coming to you from Cushman Field tonight, where Dickinson has made the long road trip to take on Grand Forks Central coming up tonight. Another matchup inside of high school football. This one should be a good one tonight inside the AA standings. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings with you as we continue our pregame report tonight, brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life. And True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Well, we're going to go into our drive for the title moment here in just a couple of moments, and we'll take a look at what's going on as far as the statewide poll is concerned. We don't have any conference games to talk about yet, so no standings as of yet coming into tonight. But Adrian, let's talk about where we're at with the poll right now, and here's the reason. West Fargo Horace has exited. So the state champions are gone.
That's right.
And Minot North, who was a semifinalist with 0 seniors a year ago, now ranked number 1. But we just saw Kindred beat West Fargo Horace last week. Kindred's the newcomer to the AA level. And in talking with Jake Schauer last week, he said, Kindred said, put the ball in play, let's roll. There was no fighting whatsoever that they were being moved up to the AA level. They were okay to come up here. There's a new voice up at the AA level, and it seems like when we see the Vikings this year, we're going to see something pretty special.
That's right, Ryan. And when we did the Dakota Bowl 2 years ago, before the Central and Fargo North game, Kindred was playing in their own state championship with Jake Starkovic, originally from Thompson.
Right.
So they're accustomed to good football down in Kindred, and it's no surprise to me that they just took the rock and said, hey, we'll play whoever, whenever, wherever. You just tell us the place. So Kindred is absolutely no surprise to see them at the top of the polls. You know, those Fargo feeder schools seem to be really strong. Horace is very good. Before too long, I'm sure Mapleton will have their own program stood up here, Ryan.
Well, you know, I have a buddy that refers to Castleton or Central Cass and Kindred. He refers to them as Fargo Red and Fargo Blue. I don't think that that's necessarily the case, but that being said, there's definitely a new player down there in the poll when we take a look at it, and Kindred is going to be a pretty serious contender when it comes down to that coming up. So let's take a look at drive for the title that we have for you this evening, so we can take a look at what that poll looks like coming into the night. And you can see there on the top of your screen that Minot North got 14 of 17 first place votes in the state AA poll, and they come in as the number 1 and a clear number 1. And Adrian, they're just going to be, for the simple fact that you made your way all the way to the semifinals last year with no seniors. Until somebody beats you, you're the guy up there. Except Kindred's got 3 dissenters. They're putting their, I guess, first place votes behind the Vikings right now.
Well, and we've talked about this before the Minot and the Minot North split. Minot is a town effectively as big as Grand Forks, functioning with 1 high school public sports team. So it's no surprise that they've been able to kind of bifurcate some of those good athletes and have another good team in Minot North. But yes, a couple dissenters holding out for Kindred. You got to love it, Ryan.
Absolutely. Then Central, then Red River, and there's a tie for 5th between Central Cass and Devils Lake. Dickinson got some votes this week, but so did Fargo South. And Fargo South is a program that's been in disarray for a couple of years. It's really good to see them coming up with a win, not necessarily for those of you from Dickinson, seeing them come up with a win at the beginning of the year, but nonetheless to be able to be a quality football team again. And then you get a sense here that the pollsters really don't know what to do with this AA level right now. St. Mary's getting votes despite being 0-2. A tough start to the season, Central and Red River, and they're both inside the top 5. But you don't really know what Central Cass has. You don't really know what Devils Lake has. It seems like once you get past maybe that Grand Forks Central vote right now, the pollsters are trying to figure it out. They're not really sure where they're going to go yet.
Yeah, and the season is early, like you mentioned, Ryan. No conference games in the schedule, so we're still playing a little bit of guess me and kind of where are we here. But, you know, like we talked about before this game, here's a Dickinson team that nobody really knew what they were going to be. And here's a Central team that had 1 win last year, and all of a sudden they've got 2 convincing wins in their first 2 games. So it's kind of, you know, this is happening up and down the poll of we don't really know where people are going to stack out.
Right.
It's just a little bit too early, to tell. But I think they're doing their best.
Yeah, the pollsters are going to have a lot to sort out as they get into this one, but that's the way the teams stack up coming into the night, and we'll see. Obviously, this will be a matchup between a team that's ranked third and a team that's getting votes, and I think that's why we expect a pretty good matchup tonight.
That's right, yeah, and these are two teams that are very balanced. They play, maybe not similar styles, but, the way that Central wants to play defensively will match up nicely with how Dickinson wants to play offensively. We have a great matchup in front of us, Ryan, and a beautiful, beautiful Friday night here in Grand Forks.
Let's keep it that way. We've got more to come. We'll take a look at our coaches conversation this week, presented by Acme Equipment and Acme Tools. That's coming up next with Jake Schauer, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights, so stay with us for that. We'll also take a look at the players to watch in this one with our game fuel coming up this evening. As our pregame report continues, our pregame show brought to you again tonight by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life. And True North Equipment, true to your values and driven by you, with 10 locations to serve you in the Red River Valley. This is our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports from Cushman Field this evening, where tonight it's Dickinson coming to town to take on Grand Forks Central. The Mavericks going up against the Knights tonight. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings with you here this evening. So a couple of things before we get into our conversation, our coaches conversation this week with Jake Schauer, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights. Let's address the elephant in the room, Adrian. Mavericks. New logo, new color.
That's right.
The old nickname, which was the Midgets for many years, and that was a nickname that was fought for very loyally by people in Dickinson for a long time. It's been pushed away. A new logo has come in with the Mavericks. The burnt orange color has replaced sort of that brighter orange color.
A little more of a poppy orange on the jerseys and kind of on the logo last year, but now the little more Texas arch burnt orange.
Absolutely, yep. And, I got to tell you, I don't mind it. I think it looks pretty nice. I like the logo that they came up with the cowboy that's got his face covered with the bandana, riding in on the horse, that kind of thing. The one thing that we can say about it is obviously nickname changes are hard, but what we heard from Dickinson is that the community was united. They felt like it was time for a fresh coat of paint. They got one, and I don't think they came up with anything too terribly bad, Adrian.
No, actually, I was quite surprised. This nickname new nicknames can be tough, as we well know in Grand Forks.
In Grand Forks, absolutely, yeah.
But I think that it turned out really quite nice, and I kind of agreed. I think the logo looks nice. I like the color scheme. I can't promise I'm not still going to say midgets in the heat of the moment.
We're going to
tonight. We're going to do our very best to do it correctly, but old habits die hard, Ryan. But I think they did a nice job with the logo reselection and a little bit of a new identity for this team that maybe has been kind of middling the last few years. It's a little bit something new to unite around for the players and for the community as well.
I think they did a nice job with it. Now let's talk about Jake Schauer, the head coach of Grand Forks Central, as he's taken over the team. Jake's done a heck of a job with his team, and I think the one thing that we can talk about is just pure out numbers. Yeah, he's got a lot of athletes this year and that type of thing, but there was a time when football in Grand Forks for both Central and Red River wasn't all that healthy. They were missing a freshman class a handful of years ago.
That's right.
Things are back on the way up, and Jake Shower's done a pretty nice job of bringing the Central program together and getting them moving in the right direction.
One nice thing that I think Coach Shower does is I follow them on Facebook, the GFC football group. You know, they do these middle school signing days. So they'll go to Valley Middle School, of course, Schrader. Even I think they make it out to South and Twining as well. But they give kind of these young guys an opportunity to feel special about playing football for Grand Forks Central.
And to commit.
Yes,
right?
exactly. You know, they get their committing day. It's exactly what you might think it looks like. But, you know, it's those little things, and you stack a lot of those little things together. And I think Coach Shower does a great job of being visible at youth football. He does a great job of encouraging these kids from a young age. Of course, he's in the classroom teaching every day. You know, he's done an excellent job just to kind of bring some buzz back, especially to Central football. But, you know, more broadly to football here in Grand Forks, he's done a very nice job. And we can see, obviously, the benefit of that and the upside of that is in the last few years, football in Grand Forks has been competitive amongst these two teams. Of course, Central and River, not only in our own community, but across the state. It's been as competitive in the last, 4 or 5 years since he's been hired as it's been in a long, long time, Ryan.
There's been some pretty good Grand Forks teams, either Central or Red River a couple of years ago. Central in a state championship game, Red River in one last year. Now they're just trying to turn the corner and win one of those.
That's right. That's the next step.
That's the thing that's left, We're going to have a chance to talk with Jake Shower, the head coach of Grand Forks Central Knights football. And one of the things that we ask him at the end of our conversation coming up is, what is it going to take to really take that next step and to be feeling like you've got things going in the right direction? And what we're going to hear from Coach Shower tonight is conference wins. They're really not putting a lot of stock right now in what's going on in the non-conference season. They're ready to kind of go full bore into the Eastern Division or Eastern region of AA football coming up. Our coaches' conversation tonight is presented by Acme Equipment and Acme Tools. They're your Kubota dealers with a full line of Kubota products to help you do your very best work. You can find their Kubota products across from Simplot on their lot on Gateway and Grand Forks. And when it's time for that do-it-yourself tool to finish off that project, they have you covered with their main tool shop on the North Washington Street area, right up by Gateway and Grand Forks as well. This week's coaches conversation with Jake Shower, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights. Brooklyn Bruce is our guest today in our player spot. Jake, a big win last week over Jamestown, 39-7. Obviously, we'll get into the ins and outs of that, but that's going to put your team on a high, getting a big win on the road in that fashion. Talk to me about how you sort of maybe brought them back to reality and got them ready to play a game this week after finishing with such a strong performance last week in Jamestown.
Yeah, we always talk, it's one day, one play at a time, right? Like whether it's a good play or a bad play, you can celebrate it, but then you got to have a quick memory, kind of like a goldfish. You got to forget it and you got to move on to the next one. And I feel like those teams that can do that are really successful. Last week was a special win because anytime you can win on the road, it's not easy. Whether you're playing a team that's highly ranked or a team that hasn't won a game, going on the road is just that much tougher and that much more difficult. So really proud of the guys and their effort for being able to get on the field. Kind of imagine that you're on Cushman Field and take over someone else's house a little bit.
You ran the ball really well last week, and coming into the year, I won't say you had concerns, but you had maybe some question marks, not about the guys running the ball, but the way that you were going to distribute the ball and the way that the guys up front would come together as a unit. How do you feel like those question marks are being answered at this point in the season?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of every coach. I mean, it's such a cliche answer to say, well, we got to just find guys up front, because it's a 5-guy unit that if they don't mesh well together, it's going to show. So I give our offensive line coach a lot of credit for being able to find 5 guys who've really meshed well together. And they're 5 guys who work really hard. They're weight room kids who probably didn't miss many days this summer, who turned their bodies into something that can move another human. And offensive coordinators doing a great job scheming up. So we're getting double teams where we need to. We're coming off those double teams at the right time, and we knew we had some pretty explosive backs coming back and some new ones coming up from freshman ball that, are kind of shiny new toys. So it's been a lot of fun, but that progression can't change. We still need to keep scheming up the run.
Coach, you have a couple of quarterbacks that have been going back and forth. We saw them in the first game of the year, and I felt like Noah Lease was very poised and had definitely taken a step forward. But when you go to Plan B with Brody Ledegy, he's in there and he looks like he's right in the hunt as well. You used them both last week in various ways. Are you looking to sort that out, or are you comfortable that you could go all 9 games of the regular season with both men doing something along the way?
I think either way, we're very comfortable. We've got a good meshing point right now where it's starting to gel, and, we know what each guy can do and who does things right. And who does this right and who does that right, things like that. But it's just like we're approaching it kind of like the running backs. You know, we like what Naz does on this, Anton on that, Voorhees on this, Sherrick on that, Cutterba on that. You know, we're learning our guys still. And, you know, I do think Noah's improved a lot. Not that he was a bad football player by any means last year, but he's came a long ways and he's turned himself into a senior leader. And, you know, I have nothing but appreciation for that kid. And Brody Ledecky is a really good athlete. You know, he's what we want. He's a 3-sport athlete, plays football, baseball, and hockey, you know, and it shows. He's a competitor. So really lucky to have all those kids in this program, to be honest.
You've had a couple of good sample sizes now, but tell me what's left on your mind, and then we'll talk about Dickinson in a second, but what's left on your mind after these 2 games about, all right, we're good, but what's it going to take to be great? What's it going to take that you haven't seen yet from your Grand Forks Central Knights team to be a great football team?
Conference wins. I've told the star guys already. I'm like, hey, you know, there is no QRF anymore. Like, it's great that we're winning football games, but at the end of the day, your number one goal every year is to go to the playoffs, and you don't do that unless you win EDC football games. So I'm pretty blunt and pretty honest with our guys. I tell them that, you know, hey, we're playing to win, but at the same time, there's a Castleton, a Kindred, a Red River, a South, you know, Wapaton, all those teams out there lurking. Those are the ones that when we start winning those, all right, then you can get a little excited. But right now, you got to remain dead inside and just keep playing football.
Well, let's talk about the opponent tonight, Dickinson, which won't be a conference game for you, obviously, but they're a team that's getting some votes in the poll. They're a team that's shown a couple of good things in the start of the regular season as well. What do you know about Dickinson? What have you seen about them, and what gives you a moment of pause getting ready for this one tonight?
Yeah, really well-coached football team. I think the quarterback's, you know, he's public enemy number 1 for us tonight. You know, he's tough. He's a good athlete. He runs extremely well. He extends plays. He's able to throw the ball to 2 talented receivers. Up front on defense, they're tough. You know, they're a very, very twist-heavy team. They're going to get a lot of fresh defensive linemen in there, and they're going to do some things that we haven't seen yet. So anytime that your guys are having to learn new things and kind of forget about the old, that always makes you worry a little bit. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm really proud of how these coaches approach each week. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into this as far as how to scheme a team offensively, how to prep for a team defensively. And I think our coaches do a nice job where we're going to try our best to put our kids in the best situation to succeed. And our guys tend to soak things in lately. So, you know, we just got to contain that quarterback and hopefully the defense can really keep rolling, to be honest.
Jake Schauer, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights, joining us tonight on our pregame report, brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel, True North Equipment. Our coaches' conversation, as always, is presented by Acme Equipment and Acme Tools. They're your Kubota dealers with a full line of Kubota products to help you do your very best work. Our countdown to kickoff tonight is presented by our friends at Nelson Auto in Grand Forks and Mike's Custom Truck in Northwood. And you can see on your screen, here we go. We've only got 6.5 minutes before the clock runs out on this one. We're getting ready for starting lineups for tonight's matchup. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fuel for the game that we have this evening. Our game tools are presented this evening by State Farm Insurance and your new man in Grand Forks, Logan Karski, who, as we understand, has got roots to where, Adrian?
Sadly, he is from Dickinson, but he is a Trinity player, so no love lost for the
I see
Mavericks.
What it is. Okay, I see what it is. Okay, I figured Karski was a Trinity Titans name. Absolutely.
Right.
No, Logan Karski, your State Farm Insurance agent, he will help you put together a pregame plan and a game plan for the protection of all that is that you want protected, whether it's your home, your auto, your life, your health, your family, your business. State Farm Insurance is there for you. State Farm Insurance, Logan Karski, your new agent in Grand Forks, bringing you our game tools tonight. Well, for Grand Forks Central, when you take a look at the offensive production, Naz Fisher, Anton Perales in the backfield, and then really it comes down to who gets him the ball. Is it going to be Noah Lease? Is it going to be Brody Ledecky, who's playing at the quarterback spot? And here's the thing, nothing decided between them, Adrian. They both have very good moments in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Absolutely, Ryan. And I'm going to jump back to Naz Fisher really quickly. You said he's got 210 on the season, 24 carries and 2 touchdowns. I mean, what a force in the backfield. Yeah. Nice little spot for him in the Grand Forks Herald a couple weeks ago. But, again, the guy that's delivering the ball or the guys, we don't know who's going to be back there. I'm watching the quarterbacks warm up. I'm on the field talking to one of the Central coaches, and I said, well, geez, I think it's going to be a little more Lease tonight or a little more Ledecky. And he said, we'll see how the game goes,
Absolutely.
I guess.
And talking with Jake Schauer, he says he's perfectly comfortable with rolling with two guys if that's the way the season's going to work itself out at this point.
He's got absolutely no qualms about letting whoever is hot throw that ball which is nice. It's really it adds an element to this game plan that I'm not sure Dickinson can fully prepare for.
As far as the Dickinson Mavericks are concerned tonight, Nathan Stevenson, we talked about him extensively. 397 yards throwing the football in 2 games this year. His favorite targets seem to be Paxton Lyson and Caleb Pullins. They each had touchdown catches against Fargo South, and that was a really, really good team that they were up against. And so those will be the men. And Dickinson gets the ball. Central won the toss and deferred. Dickinson gets the ball. So, Adrian, we're going to see Stevenson, Lyson, and Pullins going to work right away tonight.
That's right. And when I was talking to head coach Dawson McLaughlin, he said that kid works his tail end off. His dad is a former Montana State Bobcat, so he comes from a football family. But he said that Stevenson really is the hardest working player on their team, which is what you want from your leader and the quarterback. And we'll have a chance very early on in this game to see what he's got. Ryan, I suspect he's got a big arm, and he's not going to be afraid to use it, especially early in this one.
Absolutely. That sets the table for you with our game fuel tonight, and it's brought to you by Logan Karski, your new State Farm Insurance representative in Grand Forks. That will take us to another break as they announce the starting lineups here. We'll come back. Our national anthem about to be played here tonight at Cushman Field, and we'll get ready for kickoff to tonight's football game. Thank you for joining us for our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you with 10 locations with those John Deere products that you've come to know and love generationally here in the Grand Forks and Red River Valley area. Let's take a break. We'll come back with the kickoff and starting lineups next on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to GrandForksWelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started. From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings with you here tonight. Our videographer this evening is Joey Springer back down below. He has been kind of a full-time guy for us since we ventured into our video streaming products here in Grand Forks, and we thank all of you for joining us wherever you may be for our coverage of tonight's matchup between Grand Forks Central and Dickinson. We had a first-class national anthem up here, a Grand Forks Central student belting it out like she belongs on stage professionally. How about that, Adrian? That was fun.
You know, all props really goes to Jeff Mercer and Paul Barta, the Grand Forks Central Choir Department. They really know how to turn them out, Ryan. A couple good radio prospects have come through the choir hall of Grand Forks Central from what I seem to remember in my day, Ryan.
That means you were a choir kid.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Grand Forks Central won the toss. They deferred. And Dickinson will take the football to start tonight, and Dickinson will defend the north goal. They will move from our left to right. It'll be right to left as we take a look at it tonight for Grand Forks Central. And we'll set our starting lineups coming up for you as Grand Forks Central will kick it away. The returners for Dickinson, Caleb Pullins is back at around the 5-yard line. It looks like they're going to sneak in. Also, Dylan Glasser back there as well. That's a numbers change. We were told number 4 on him. We knew we had a duplicate number on defense for Dickinson. Wasn't sure where that duplication was going to be, but Glasser will be number 2. That means Devin Height's probably going to be number 4. Yes, we've confirmed that now. Hey, early in the year, we still got numbers to sort out, right, Adrian?
That's right, Ryan. And tonight's game should settle into the low 70s, rather. Once we get a little past kickoff here, it should be a beautiful night at Cliff Cushman Field. And I am getting reports that we have some listeners out in Bozeman, Montana. We welcome you to the broadcast.
The kicker is Rylan Dobrovolny, and this one is squibbed, and it gets back to the goal line through the wickets on Dickinson's Dylan Glasser, who sets up far side return, then nearly outran the defense, turned to corner 15-20, and is out of bounds at around the 22-yard line, and that's where things will set up. Dickinson starting offense. The center is Cannon Dressler. The guards are Colton Brown and Cale Thompson. The tackles, Jacob Britton and Cole Crossley. The wide receivers, Paxton Lyson, Caleb Pullins, and Dylan Glasser. The tight end is Colby Fasthorse. The running back, Wyatt Turner. Nate Stevenson will start at quarterback. Defensively for Grand Forks Central, the nose is Eli Fisher. The ends are Brody Melliker and Nolan Marshall. The linebackers, Eli Thompson, Naz Fisher, Zethan Fellman, and Johnny Sherrick. The corners, Zaid Martin and Trey Clausen. And the safeties are Brooklyn Bruce and Tyson Vanyo. And it's 1st and 10 for Dickinson at their own 22-yard line as we get this one started with some sun, some clouds, and temperatures, as you heard Adrian say, in the 70s out of the pistol. Nate Stevenson on 1st down and 10. In the backfield, Wyatt Turner, nowhere to go. And this is the story right away, Adrian, as we see a tackle for Eli Fisher. Wyatt Turner, the starter. Last week, Cameron Bowden breaking his fibula and is done for the year as a senior for Dickinson in week number 2 of the year. A really, really devastating injury for Dickinson in their backfield.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy, especially a kid missing his last year of high school, but that definitely changes the complexion of this game for Central. I was talking to Trevor Leonard before the game, and he said their line is good up front, so be curious to see if Central's going to be able to bring pressure with, 3-4. It's going to be hard to sacrifice the guys in the backfield tonight.
4 receivers. They'll motion Paxton Lyson across the formation. Interior trap. They give the football away to Nate Stevenson. He'll just keep it. And Stevenson rolls his way out to the 30-yard line. Be a nice gain of around 9 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2, and we'll have whistles. Now, we were having a struggle getting the clock to run on the last play, and now we've got a whistle coming to bring this one to a close as the ball got out to the 31 officially. It'd be a 10-yard pickup on that play for Nate Stevenson. I don't see a flag. Adrian, I don't see one. Do you see one? I don't see a penalty marker
it's
down.
No flag, and I saw T-Stake was on the phone there, which would indicate an issue with the clock. He's communicating with others in the press box here. I'm not sure what the combo is about. I mean, they're looking down at the end of the scoreboard, Ryan.
And we'll see what I believe Brandon Walsh is our referee tonight. So he comes over and talks to the Grand Forks Central sideline.
Clock's going to get adjusted down to 10:50 is what we're hearing.
All right. So Stevenson with a 10-yard pickup. That will stand. And it'll be 3rd down and 1 coming up for Dickinson.
Good opportunity for Central to get him off the field here early, Ryan.
They haven't reset the clock. Clock's still at 11:45. I think they're just running it down. I'm not sure if they're just going to let it tick down to 10:50.
Must be. Oh, stopped it.
I think they're trying to reset it now. There it is.
Go.
They got it to 10:50. All right. So we had a little bit of an issue getting started tonight. Now we're ready to go, and now they'll get the clock moving again. All right, so we're ready. So here comes a 3rd down and 1 for Dickinson. Big play in the game early from the Mavericks 31-yard line. Stevenson out of the shotgun, 4 receivers, pistol look. And Turner in the backfield with them. A jailbreak blitz coming up for Grand Forks Central, and they bring Wyatt Turner down in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards on the play. They loaded up and brought everybody to Grand Forks Central to try to snuff out the running play. Brody Melliker gets the tackle to be a loss of 2 yards.
Talk about selling out, Ryan. I mean, they were very sure in their play call there. They sent the whole house, and I think the janitor too.
That's a huge gamble with the arm that Nate Stevenson has, and that's something that will be noted by the coaching staff. have throughout. Jackson Braun is the punter for Dickinson. 2 men for Central will go back inside their own 40 to receive. Kicks away, spiraling kick. Not a bad one. Lateral hop at around the 45 and will be touched up at the 46. And that's where Grand Forks Central will take over for their first possession tonight. No score on the All-True scoreboard. Starting lineup for the Knights this evening. The center is Ryder McNally. The guards are Sawyer Harlow and Eli Fisher. The tackles, Nolan Marshall and Brody Melliker. The wide receivers are Brooklyn Bruce, Zaid Martin. The tight end, Carter Bossert. The running backs are Anton Perales and Eli Thompson. Noah Lease gets the start at quarterback tonight. Defensively for Dickinson, Isaac Lowry's the nose. The ends are Cole Crossley and Jacob Britton. The linebackers will be Easton Blower, Caden Tesher, or rather, I believe that's Shetter, if I'm not mistaken. Colby Fasthorse and Devin Height. The corners are Caleb Pullins and Ethan Luna. The safeties, Dylan Glasser and Cooper Orton. And on first down and 10, the ball goes to Perales looking for a lead block right side. Turn to corner around the 50, and he's into Dickinson territory as he'll make his way to around the 47 for a gain of about 7 yards.
Nice start for Central there, working off the right side, Ryan. Just nice downhill yards for Perales. Very nice little gain to get them going, especially after they got Dickinson off the field quickly. Surprised not to see Stevenson throw on that last drive.
They're going to say Anton Perales touched up out of bounds at the 49. So it'll be a 2nd down and 5 after a 5-yard pickup for Perales, or rather Perales. The tackle was made by Cooper Orton, the safety for Dickinson. And it's 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Knights. Pair of receivers to the left, Noah Lease out of the pistol. Perales remains the back. High snap, Perales has it, dodges a man, turns it upfield, left guard. Now breaks into the second level. He's across the 35 and down to the 31 of Dickinson. Nice pickup. That'll be an 18-yard run for Anton Perales. And Adrian, what's surprising is that it didn't look like 18. It looked like Dickinson was in the right spot. Perales made a nice pivot and explosion.
Yeah, nice little move by Perales there. After the last one, he felt like he had a couple more yards. Little determination to make sure he had him on this one, Ryan. Very nice run from him. Nice start from Central as well.
First down and 10 for the Knights at the Dickinson 31. 8:45 to play in the opening quarter. And the first point still waiting for someone tonight as Noah Lease is out of the pistol. This is Naz Fisher, right side, just kind of running over a pair of tacklers. Stood up, tries to keep lurching forward, and will be stood up at the 25-yard line. Colby Fasthorse and company are over there. Cooper Orton, who is the free safety for this unit, has been active a lot tonight for Dickinson. Naz Fisher has 6, and it's 2nd down and 4. Naz on the season, 24 carries, 210 yards, a pair of touchdowns. He's got 3 catches for 70 yards that way as well, so he's been an all-purpose back. You're looking at 280 all-purpose yards in the course of 2 games.
Talk about just a traditional bell cow, Ryan, the guy that's probably going to get the call play in and play out. Fisher, huge frame. We saw it in the Dakota Bowl 2 years ago. We knew he was going to be a star one day.
2nd down and 4. Fisher, right side, delay. Hit, balls on the ground. This one looks to have been scooped up by Naz Fisher after a Maverick was on top of it, and I think it was Cooper Orton that had his hands on top of the ball, and Fisher just pulled him away. Be a loss of 3 yards on the play. When we take a look at our keys for the game tonight, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World, we list it for both teams tonight. Turnovers. If this is going to be an even game,
that's right.
Create one, don't give one. That's going to be a huge break in the game tonight for one of these two teams.
Take care of the football is always so high on our list. And the top one you had there, grind the running game. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but Central's certainly doing so, showing run on every play out of the set so far, Ryan.
3rd down and 7. Now Noah Lease wants to pass. Has some protection, steps up in the pocket, trying to widen out to the right corner. Has the first down of the 20 and is out of bounds as he made his way to the 17-yard line. Noah Lease, a pretty good run to find his way and a pretty good read up the field. He'll be out of bounds after a gain of 11, and the Knights are in the red zone on their opening possession of the night.
Central marching the ball down the field, Ryan. Survived the turnover scare there, and they're able to turn a positive play on the next one. Nice to see Lease just stepping up and kind of taking what the defense is giving him, works right up the middle, just scoots to the outside for an easy first down.
1st down and 10 for Grand Forks Central. They're at the Dickinson Mavericks 17-yard line. Twin receivers to the near side of the field. Brooklyn Bruce, Zaid Martin together. Martin's in the slot. A look that way by Noah Lease. High snap, reels it in again. Right side, Perales in trouble and down at the point of attack for nothing. Isaac Lowry got in and brings him down for a yard loss. That snap relationship with the center has been called into question a couple of times, seen a couple of high ones, and it's disrupting some timing on the play right now.
You're just kind of missing that little half step, Ryan. You know, when the snap is good and the ball is crisp and it's right in the bread box, you're getting out quickly and you're moving into your route, you know, your progression, if you will, quickly. But little bit off. Maybe just something to clean up as this game goes on. Could be the heat as well.
2nd down and 11 now for the Knights. They're at the Maverick 18. 3 receivers. Twins will go to the right side of the field, which is the short side. Another high snap to Lease. Play action. Wants to throw. Flushed. Throwing right side. Paralis in the flat. Looking for a way to come back over the middle of the field. Ball got loose again. I believe they're going to say that Paralis was down before it came out, but there's a couple of near misses on turnovers tonight for Central. Paralis will be down for a gain of perhaps a yard on the play, and so here comes 3rd down and 10. Now, we can talk about this. Rylan Dobrovolny is the kicker for Grand Forks Central. He's the goalkeeper for the Central soccer team and has leg like you would not believe.
He is a legitimate kicker, Ryan. I mean, he can kick. It's not like we're trotting someone out because they have to kick a PAT. This is a guy that can actually kick a field goal.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 11 for the Knights from the 18 of the Mavericks. 3 receivers again. Zaid Martin will work in motion from right to left. Lease takes the snap. Going to take this one back, looking to throw. Right side of the field towards the end zone. A lot of contact, no flag. Pass was intended towards the far side of the field for Grand Forks Central's Tyson Vanyo. Along the boundary, good coverage down there from Dylan Glasser, the strong safety on the play. So here comes 4th down 11. Clock will halt with 5:26 to play here in the opening quarter. And here comes Rylan Dobrovolny, as we were just talking about, to try a 35-yard field goal for Grand Forks Central. Far hash, very little wind tonight. Dobrovolny will basically be the man responsible here. Good snap, the hold down, kick is on its way, plenty of leg, end over end. It is good. Rylan Dobrovolny puts one on from 35 yards, and the Knights will take a 3-0 lead as we make our way to our timeout that we have for you this evening. Our timeout will be brought to you by Big Jim's Tire and also brought to you this evening by Apex Apparel. We'll go to our media stoppage. Your score is 3-0 Knights on the All True scoreboard. This is our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Welcome back to our coverage of Grand Forks Central Knights football tonight. The Knights lead by a score of 3-0 over the Dickinson Mavericks on a 35-yard field goal for Rylan Dobrovolny. And Central has a 3-0 lead. Credit Dickinson. They came back defensively after a couple of pretty big gouging plays for Central in the running game, stiffened up and forced Central to the 3-point try.
Yeah, it seemed like Central was really just going to march. I mean, they picked up the first 24 yards pretty much without blinking an eye, and then Dickinson blows up when they needed to. Got tight there near the red zone, and Dobrovolny trots on and kicks a 35-yard field goal. Nice, smooth. Probably would have been good if it was from a few further, if it was straight on, but we'll see. Central's got a threat back there, Ryan.
Well, Central's soccer team has been bringing him out on free kicks if they're out at midfield. They'll run him all the way out to the midfield stripe just to kick it deep and try to set up a scoring play. Here he sends this one away end over end, and that will land a couple of yards deep into the end zone. A long look at it by Caleb Pullins. He'll let it go away, and Grand Forks Central will be back on the defensive side of things as Dickinson will get started. Well, our keys to the game this evening are brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. It's always hockey season in Grand Forks. They're ready for the upcoming season. Any pad, any skate, and precision skate sharpening for whatever position that you're playing. Central grinded out in the running game and be balanced in the secondary. They're going to get tested probably this possession, and they've got to be balanced back there. They've got to make sure that they can commit to those receivers, right? Or, I'm sorry, Adrian.
Yes, Adrian, I was just thinking the same thing. I mean, Central has got to be ready to defend the pass because you know it's coming, and I'm going to jump just a smidge ahead here. You said hit the home run play for the Mavericks. That is perfectly said, Ryan, because you know that they're going to want to test long. These Central DBs are going to have to be prepared to defend, and there's not going to be a ton of safety help over the top, just kind of how Dickinson has got quite a few targets. So
yep.
be prepared to play your man one-on-one.
So Dickinson's got to commit to stopping the run, and then they've got to hit that home run ball at some point. While we were away, Wyatt Turner rushes, and it stopped the line of scrimmage. And it's 2nd down and 10 for Dickinson from their own 20-yard line after the touchback. Stevenson to throw. Stepping back, looking near side of the field, throws for Pullins. It's incomplete, and we have a flag down. Right around where the quarterback was. I didn't see contact on the quarterback at that point, but the flag comes in late. May we have a holding penalty here against Dickinson as Central's trying to get upfield?
Might have been a hold, as it looked like there was a Knights kind of going to the ground. So I wonder if someone just maybe got a little grabby on the cloth, and we are going to get a holding penalty against the Mavericks.
And they will take the distance rather than the down, so this will be a 10-yard penalty against Dickinson. And it will bring up a 2nd down and 20 coming up for the Mavericks. Well, not exactly the way that you want to go about this when you're back in your own end. And that first throw to Caleb Pullins, it was a good throw, good release. It looked like the routes were ill-timed. The ball kind of stayed in the interior, and Pullins released to the sideline on that play. So here comes 2nd down and 20. Nate Stevenson's back, waiting for a shotgun snap at his own 5 for the Mavericks. He takes the snap, and a blitz comes from Central late. Pass is incomplete. They looked across the field for Paxton Lyson. He was covered by Naz Fisher. Central brought 3 and then blitzed Johnny Sherrick, the linebacker, off the right side. That was picked up well, though, by Dickinson, and Stevenson had plenty of time to work with on that play.
Yeah, he started just to get moved right at the very end as he was releasing anyways. But it is encouraging, Ryan, that Central's able to bring some decent pressure with 4. Dickinson holding up for now, but we'll see if that changes throughout the game. I like that little bit of a defensive look, kind of that late stunt, if you will, of kind of letting the guy maybe wait out and then blitz in a little bit later. I like that from the second level.
Here comes 3rd down and 20. They'll motion Pullins. New receiver in the game is Shane Ciani for Dickinson. Stevenson rolling out, being chased in the flat, in some trouble. A flag is down. Stevenson steps up and is knocked out of bounds at around the 12. Flag looks to be in the vicinity of holding against Dickinson as well, with a lot of strung out pressure to the near side. If it is holding against the Mavericks, I would assume that Central declines the penalty and would force 4th down after what would be a 2-yard gain for Nate Stevenson. And on our near sideline, Jake Schauer believes it's against Dickinson and says decline it, and it will be 4th down. Stevenson picks up 2.
Schauer with a warm embrace for Brody Mellicher, who got after and was able to bring Stevenson down after just a very short gain. Naz Fisher maybe looking on, thinking, God darn it, it could have been me. I just missed him in the backfield. But nonetheless, Central nice to get pressure, catches Dickinson on back-to-back negative plays, and they should have a chance to get the ball very shallow here and set up a short drive.
Knights back, their deep man at around the 40-45-yard line. Another punt coming up here for Jackson Braun. Kick is away, not a lot of spin in this one, and Central makes the catch on it. A running grab is made by the Knights in the form of Trey Clausen. Clausen brings it up to the 30. I'll tell you what, Trey might have saved a turnover there, because there were some Knights in the vicinity that didn't know where the football was.
Getting a little worried that Aiden Beta did not understand that ball was a little short. So, maybe Clausen probably thought, I probably got to go get this thing.
Our coverage of tonight's matchup is brought to you in part by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. The PS stands for Perfect Service. If you need service on any make and model of garage door, PS Garage Doors have it. Again, 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors, bringing you our coverage tonight. 1st and 10 Knights. They lead it 3-0. They're at the Dickinson 30. As Noah Lease will set up out of the pistol once again. Gives to Naz Fisher right side, then takes it back in the zone read. Tries to bust outside, and he's caught back at the 32 for a loss on the play. Play just took too much time to develop, and Colby Fasthorse definitely was fast. Came up and was able to catch Lease from behind. It'll be a loss of a yard for Noah Lease. 2nd down and 11 for the Knights.
Ryan, I really like Lease's scrambling ability, but on some of these kind of design sort of option plays, it just seems like he's a little step behind. I like it when he can kind of step up and move out of the pocket, but not sure they'll go back to the design run a ton for him.
It's more of a new wrinkle this week. I think they're trying to keep some attention off the backs in the backfield and make sure the defense knows. They've got 8 in the box now, does Dickinson, on 2nd down 11. Lease being chased from behind, rolling out, throwing over the middle. Trey Clausen's got it, slipped the tackle to the 15-yard line, out of bounds at the 10. We'll see a 1st down and goal coming up for the Knights. It'll be up at the 9-yard line, a pickup of 22 yards on Trey Clausen's first catch of the night. And Central spreads things out, finds the underneath route, and it's 1st and goal for the Knights.
Nice little play by Clausen there, and a good find by Lease, who's getting some pressure from behind. He was kind of flushed out pretty quickly, but playing a little bit out on a little kind of, movement. He was coming, but nice completion by Central there, as close as they've been at the 9-yard line here, Ryan.
First down and goal for Central from the 9. The Knights lead it 3-0 on our All-True scoreboard. They're looking for more. A pair of receivers come to the left-hand side of the field. Noah Lease out of the pistol. Naz Fisher is the back on first down and goal. Another high snap. Fisher in the backfield driving his way to the right, and will drive his way down to the 5. Gain of about 5 yards, just trying to inch his way down there. Dickinson comes out of the pile with the football again. I hope things aren't getting looser and looser in there right now. Stop for Dickinson is made by Ethan Luna, one of their defensive backs. It'll be second down and goal after a 4-yard pickup for Naz Fisher.
And Dickinson doing a good job of loading the box there and actually getting some pressure past that center, but Fisher just wisely kind of cuts to the right and gets through, the D gap and is able to move upfield for a nice little gain, Ryan.
Final 3 minutes of the opening quarter about to roll away. A pair of receivers near side of the field. Lease again on the pistol. Anton Perales is now the back out of the pistol, and there's another high snap, and Lease is going to have to go back, pick it up. He just falls on it back at the 25, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jake Schauer takes a timeout to figure that out, because that has been a recurring problem throughout the course of the night. Be a loss back to the 27. It's a loss of 22 yards on the play. But they've got to find a way to keep that snap healthy, and it has been very high all night long.
And not even just high, Ryan. It's sort of been all over the place. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. I mean, obviously that one is overhead. You're going to want to get that figured out, because as they continue to dial pressure into this game, that's going to become a bigger and a bigger element.
Well, in a near miss like that, first and goal at the 9, you can't afford to come away with 0 points in a game like this. 4 receivers, trips left on third down and goal from the 27. Another high snap. Lease drops back, plenty of time, throws underneath, pass is caught. Zaid Martin will get some of it back up to around the 13. Pick up a 14 yards on the catch for Zaid Martin, and out will come Ryland Dobrovolny to try another 3-point effort for Grand Forks Central tonight to try to capitalize after getting, and that's what Dobrovolny gives you. You don't have to get the ball into the end zone. Take half, kick the field goal if you can get it.
He's an honest-to-goodness kicker. I mean, they have a legitimate shot to pick up points. And like you said, this is a drive where you're at the 5-yard line, you have a bad snap, and you go the other way. But a game like tonight, I mean, touchdowns might not be aplenty, so you got to take the points when you can get them.
Snap was low, but the kick is on its way, and the kick is good again, this time from 29 yards out. So a pair of field goals for the soccer player, Ryland Dobrovolny, and it's now 6-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central over Dickinson. We have a timeout on the field. Timeout's brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, and brought to you tonight as well by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned promotional shop in Grand Forks. More Knights football comes up next.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
Welcome back to our coverage of Grand Forks Central Knights football tonight. KNOX Live Sports. Make sure that you subscribe to our KNOX TV YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube. KNOX TV, subscribe to it so you can get alerts as to when your team is going to be a part of our coverage coming up in the future. Ryland Dobrovolny, pair of field goals tonight, and kicks one away for Grand Forks Central. And again, it rolls through and rolls into the end zone. This was not touched on the way through by Dylan Glasser, so it will end up being a touchback, even though it was a ground ball touchback. And Dickinson has not had a lot of favors tonight when it comes down to field position. This game has been played squarely on the left-hand side of the field tonight with the Knights leading 6-0.
Yeah, Ryan, it's kind of interesting. Early in this game, special teams has really been the sort of the maker. We've got a couple made field goals, a couple muffed kicks a little bit. I mean, a couple through the end zone, a couple short punts. Dickinson really has not done much with the ball, but they got a chance here to kind of rewrite that script. Stevenson, we got to see that arm come out a little bit at the end of the last drive, and I expect we're going to see it early here.
Wyatt Turner with Stevenson out of the pistol on 1st and 10. They'll give to Turner in the backfield, and again, nowhere to go with the football. Eli Fisher comes up with a stop up front, and it's kind of been that way throughout the course of the game. And one thing that we did see when you were talking about the throws coming out, Adrian, if you go back to the last possession for Dickinson, that last opportunity was a coverage opportunity. The receivers did not get open. Stevenson had a lot of time, rolled out, just couldn't find anybody open. Right now, Central's defensive secondary is getting it done.
Yeah, the first time they threw, I mean, he just overthrew the guy, maybe didn't play the right route. And the second time, Central actually covered, which is, it's encouraging. That's what you want. And you know that they're going to continue to lean on the throw, Ryan.
No deep safety help here. Throw to the near side and a comeback route that's caught on the near side by Dylan Glasser. He'll be wrestled down to the 24. Gain of 4, perhaps 5 yards. Trey Clausen brings him down on the near side of the field. And that'll be a 4-yard pickup for Dylan Glasser. Makes the catch, 4-yard pickup, still 3rd down and long coming up for Dickinson, 3rd and 7. That'll take us into the final 30 seconds of what has been a rapidly expiring first quarter of football.
Excellent open field tackle by Clausen there, Ryan. I mean, he saved what could have been an easy first down for Dickinson. Did a nice job of wrapping up his man. And here you go. This first quarter is just gone.
Yeah. 4 receivers. Twins will go each way. The clock's at 10 seconds as they set. Stevenson will motion a receiver. Paxton Lyson from right to left. A drop back by Stevenson, stepping up in the pocket, hit, got away from it, now stiff arms a man 30-35, stays down the sideline, broke a tackle. He's into the second level, cuts back over the middle and is down inside the Central 30 to around the 24, and that's the way the first quarter is going to come to a conclusion. Wow. 53 yards on the run for Nate Stevenson, and that will bring us to the end of the opening quarter of football, with Grand Forks Central giving up a gouger after having Stevenson bottled up in the backfield. After a quarter of play, your score on the Ultra scoreboard is Grand Forks Central 6, Dickinson nothing, but now the Mavericks are on the move. We have a timeout, and we'll get ready for second quarter action next. This is our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need: turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Timeouts brought to you tonight by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned promotional shop in Grand Forks, and also brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. Ryan Cunningham and Adrian Cummings. Joey Springer is our videographer tonight below us. Central leading 6-0, but on the final play of the opening quarter, Nate Stevenson slipping away and gaining 53 yards. The only scoring and the only highlight so far tonight, the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This is the second field goal kick for Ryland Dobrovolny, and as you can see, it's good to have him over from the soccer team, as he had plenty of distance on that one. That was officially from 29 yards, but now it's the Mavericks that have momentum going down the field after a 53-yard scamper from Nate Stevenson. First down and 10 for the Mavericks from the Central 24. They'll give away to Turner on the right side, trying on the right, broke a couple of tackles, then broke out of another tackle and is hit as he got inside the 15. He's brought down to the 13 by Trey Clausen on what turns out to be a gain of 11 yards. At another first down for Dickinson. The Knights seem to have forgotten how to tackle the last couple of plays.
Well, Ryan, the second that I comment Trey Clausen on his open field tackle, all of a sudden now they've missed, I think, 5 or 6 easy wrap-up tackles. Central just got to get back to basics here. I mean, now for Stevenson, he's got a whole different playbook being in the red zone now. It's not, you're not going for green grass, you're going for the end zone only 12 yards away.
First down and 10 rather. From the Grand Forks Central Knights 11-yard line. They give it away. Stevenson nearly broke a tackle and is down back at the 13-yard line, but you can see the strength of Stevenson running the football. He was hit in the backfield on that play by Zethan Feldman out of the linebacker core. Nearly stepped out of it, but Feldman got enough to bring him down for a loss of 2.
And add that to the list, Ryan, of tackles that Central would like to have. They want to keep them as far away from the end zone and make this as one-dimensional passing attack as they can. But if you're Dickinson, why go away from the run?
Second down and 12 from the 13-yard line for the Mavericks. 4 receivers, twins each way. Stevenson waiting for a shotgun snap. He's got Wyatt Turner to his left in the backfield. He drops back, is under all kinds of trouble, runs away from Naz Fisher, cuts back over the middle, then broke another tackle and steps inside the 5 and is down to around the 3-yard line, and Naz Fisher is down back behind the play. Naz Fisher down back behind the play and goes down to the field. Fisher nearly had Stevenson wrapped up. And then Fisher goes down as Stevenson goes up the field and picks up 11 yards. And we have an injury on the field.
It's not what you like to see, Ryan, especially from Naz Fisher, one of Central's toughest players. I mean, he's basically just a ball of muscle down in pain. It's not what you want to see. We're hoping for good news here from Fisher. Hopefully
looks like he's holding his hand.
Hopefully he can just pop up and maybe feel good and get back out there in this second quarter. But Fisher just been down a little, must have knocked a little something on the way down.
Well, they're tending to him right now, and you can see there's a pretty close look. I'm not sure if they're looking at his hand or but I think they're looking. Oh, it looks like they're looking at his knuckles on his right hand. So they're going to check this out, and we'll see what happens here. We'll stay with you here as we get ready for what will be a 3rd down and 1 play coming up from the 3. Grand Forks Central getting gouged a little bit defensively and forgetting a bit how to tackle. And when you talk with Jake Schauer, the head coach of the Knights, he is a discipline and tactician type of coach.
Right.
He's not going to be happy on that sideline if those tackles are being missed at this point.
He's a meat and potatoes coach, Ryan. He's not looking for a crazy or a flashy play. I mean, he wants you to, if you're doing your job and you're not a problem, you're doing a good job. He doesn't want you to think about anything. Just get out there, tackle the guy in front of you, block the guy in front of you, do your job type of coach. And he's not going to be happy with the way this last drive has unfolded.
Well, we'll see here. Fisher's up.
The injured player was Naz Fisher.
And he's...
It is his hand,
yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, he took a glove off his right hand, and he's not using it. Now, we'll see what happens here in the future. But Naz Fisher is a huge part of what the Knights want to do. And if he's not able to go, and I'm not sure what happened, it seemed like at one point they were trying to actually put something back in place. But we'll see a hole on defense now as well. Naz Fisher, 11 tackles this season, 3rd best on the team. He comes out of the linebacker spot. And here comes 3rd down and 1 for Dickinson. In the meantime, 3rd down and 1 for the Mavericks at the Grand Forks Central 3. Knights leading 6-0, but the Mavericks are the ones in the strike zone here. Stevenson is under center. Deep back behind him is Turner. He'll turn, give it to Turner, plunges right side, and he's into the end zone for a Dickinson Maverick touchdown. Turner comes in off right tackle, a drive that was produced by the inability of Central to tackle, and Turner makes it pay with a 3-yard touchdown plunge, and the game is tied with the point after pending.
Central just culmination of that whole drive, Ryan, just not able to tackle, not able to catch the guy when you have him, and they give up 6 on the scoreboard. Dickinson will try to make it 1 more here, but a competitive football game. It's shaping up to be Central, certainly with their opportunities to get Dickinson off the field as this one goes right through the uprights.
Yep. Jackson Braun good, 7-6. The lead shifts to the Mavericks on the all-true scoreboard. We have a timeout, and our timeouts are brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-operated and owned promotional shop in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. We're back with more Knights football next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports tonight from Cushman Field here in Grand Forks. The Dickinson Mavericks gouge the Knights with some missed tackling for Central being their worst enemy. And Dickinson gets in on a 3-yard touchdown plunge from Wyatt Turner, and that will make it a 7-6 lead in favor of the Mavericks over the Knights, as the Mavericks will kick the football away. Jackson Braun set to do the honors. And an end-over-end kick angled towards the near side. This will be taken by Grand Forks Central's Brooklyn Bruce. Bruce looking for a block, trying to bounce outside. Ball's on the turf. And still on the turf. Central got it back at the 22-yard line. And the Knights have had some things go the wrong way. They've got to find a little discipline here as that ball is recovered eventually for Grand Forks Central by Brody Schneider. Go back to the touchdown in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and this is just brawn meeting brawn in this situation. Take us on, right tackle, and a really nice crease was formed on that play for Wyatt Turner. When you go back and you take a look at it, Adrian, you see just how big the gap was up on the goal line for Wyatt Turner to run through. And Dickinson's found something they can execute in the running game right now.
Oh, absolutely. And just strolling through there like a pony on a Saturday, Ryan. I mean, absolutely nothing in his way. Just struts right into the end zone, and Dickinson puts a score on the board. Central not playing clean football the last couple minutes here, RC.
Noah Lease will take a shotgun snap out of the pistol. Throws right side far too high to the far edge, looking for Zaid Martin. Martin open and had a block on the perimeter from Brooklyn Bruce. There's just something about tempo right now for Grand Forks Central that isn't favored at this point. There seems to be a bit of a foot off the gas, and Dickinson's definitely taking advantage of it.
They're just out of it. You miss a couple tackles on defense, a little demoralizing. You let up a big run. You know, Naz Fisher, obviously one of their best players, if not their best player, comes out of the game. They're just kind of in a little bit of a funk right now. Just hasn't quite been firing on all cylinders, Ryan.
They're looking at Naz at the training table right now. Meanwhile, 2nd down and 10. Noah Lease will take a shotgun snap again out of the pistol from the 22 of Grand Forks Central. Play action. They're going to throw the reverse at it. Zaid Martin trying to turn a corner. He's got the far hash mark 30, bounces outside 40, near midfield, has that, and is knocked out of bounds in the Dickinson sideline across the way at around the 46-yard line. The misdirection for Grand Forks Central. Little reverse play on a counter. Watch it develop. They go play action up the middle, and the whole defense sucked to that side. And then it's all about Zaid Martin being the athlete in that situation. He makes his way across midfield, and Grand Forks Central has an opportunity for a first down inside Dickinson territory at the 47-yard line.
Nice 34-yard pickup for Martin, and bigger than that, Ryan. Give your team a little spark. Hey, we get a big play. We got a chance to maybe flip the field and get a little bit tighter here. Nice play by Martin and good play design.
First down and 10 for Central from the Maverick 47-yard line, with the Mavericks up by a score of 7-6. Motion across the line. Quante Henry looking to make a block, but Anton Perales does not receive it, and Perales is down back behind the play. Huge play up front. That play will go to Dickinson's Devin Height, who comes in. They ran Quante Henry on a counter. Henry trying to go back to his left and find someone to block. There was no one there for him to hit. And in the long run, Height will bring down Perales for a yard loss.
Yeah, Dickinson sending 5 in there and kind of getting home quite quickly. So Central's their line has got to maybe bow up a little bit, Ryan. This run game has just been stagnant for them. Really, in this second quarter, they were doing all right to start, but it's really come to a grinding halt here thanks to Dickinson's defensive front.
2nd down, 11. Quante Henry again in motion from left to right behind the line. Lease waiting out of the pistol, looking to his right side. Thought about throwing over the hash mark. Flag is down. That'll be holding against Central. Lease breaking some tackles, going to step up, takes what he can get, and then is flushed out of bounds. And now another flag comes up as Noah Lease took a pop along the boundary.
Giving him an extra little shove there. Colby Fasthorse, I think that one's going to wipe that holding off the board. Should be unnecessary roughness from Fasthorse there, just giving
late hit.
A shove. Yeah.
So then we'll offset it, I suppose, right? Unless one's a personal foul, then we'll go 10-5, and Central would have a 2nd down back. Meanwhile, we have Colby Fasthorse out of a helmet, and he's down.
I think he
concussion?
I don't know. I thought his lunge came up over here near the 40-yard marker, but
Colby Fasthorse is now sitting down in midfield.
A little shaken up.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we've got flags down. They'll get together to administer the penalties.
There's a holding.
There'll be a holding call against Grand Forks Central. And then we're going to have a dead ball foul, personal foul, against Dickinson. So I would think we're going 10-5 on this. Now the holding penalty is down at the 49 of Central. So in the long run, Central's probably going to pick up, well, it looks like they're going to take it off from the line of scrimmage. So Central picks up 5 yards, and we turn this in from a 2nd and 11 to a 2nd down and 6.
Basically, Central gets the gain that Lease had, effectively. I mean, yes, it's a 10-5, but effectively Central just gets the gain that Lease made.
Football's a funny game, folks. They're going to spot the ball just ahead of the 43, in Dickinson territory. And so it'll be a gain of, call it 5 yards. And second down to long 6 coming up for Grand Forks Central. Sometimes I think volleyball's a funny game. Then we do that where we got a guy going back 10, up 15. I've never understood why they can't just do the math and then do 5.
Right.
But apparently the rule of football is you must administer the penalty. So.
Right. Yeah, and it's like you said, I mean, it's unnecessary roughness or late hit out of bounds or whatever.
It's personal foul nonetheless. And then to top it off, Colby Fasthorse at least lost for a moment as well for Dickinson. They have 5 defensive backs to the Mavericks on second down and 6. Out of the pistol, Perales up the middle. Big lead block right side. Turns the corner at the 40, 35. Runs over a man. Got to the 30 and stumbles his way down to the 28-yard line. That's a big pickup. 15 yards for Anton Perales. And it's 1st and 10 for Dickinson up, or rather I should say for Grand Forks Central up at the Dickinson 28-yard line.
Perales' shoulder pad saying hello to Ethan Luna and letting him lay down on the turf there. Nice little truck stick from Perales and a big gain for Central on that second and mid. All of a sudden they're at first and getting closer, Ryan, starting to grind some yards away on this possession.
And again, Naz Fisher not in the matchup right now for Grand Forks Central, not sure of his return after suffering a hand injury. Anton Perales is in as the back, 3 receivers. Twins to the left of Noah Lease on 1st down and 10. A blitz coming from Dickinson. Perales right side runs at the blitz, head down, burrowing forward, makes his way down to the 21. Gain of 7 yards that time for Anton Perales. Stop is made by Caden Cheddar for Dickinson. And it will be a 7-yard pickup for Perales, who now is out to 43 yards for the game for Grand Forks Central.
Excellent start for him, and there's plenty of time left in this second quarter, so Perales really starting to grind some yards away. You know, I'd like to see Central try and throw here, Ryan. Dickinson has, had 5 backs in the backfield, and then they've kind of sent an extra guy in from that second level, so Central might have a chance here to get the ball up in the air.
They've got 5 defensive backs in the game. Again, here, Jesse Hammond, a defensive back, is the 5th man. Playing as a linebacker, though, they bring him on a blitz. Lease going to throw over the middle of the field. Too high, he had a man. It was downfield, intended for Brooklyn Bruce, and Bruce went up to get it. Ball was thrown just behind Brooklyn and incomplete.
Nice.
But you read their mind, Adrian. Take a shot at the end zone there. Now it's 3rd down and 3, and I would guess this is 4-down territory for the Knights.
I would think so. I mean, a field goal is in play. It'd be a stretch, but why not try and get a touchdown? You got to answer what they did with the touchdown, hopefully. And props to Lease there, Ryan, hanging in with some serious pressure coming from Dickinson.
Yeah.
He took a nice little lick at the end there and threw a fairly accurate ball, but just maybe a hair high for Bruce.
We've talked about Noah Lease really having more poise this season, has looked like a much more polished quarterback than perhaps a year ago. Here comes 3rd down and 3. Lease out of the shotgun, turns. This is Johnny Sherrick. Big hole. Sherrick, second level, spinning his way down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st down and goal for Grand Forks Central as Sherrick makes his way downfield for 20 yards.
Nice little pickup from Sherrick there. Nice little play call from Central, Ryan. They've really liked working off that right side tonight. A lot of their big gainers on this drive have come that way. They must feel a little bit better about that side of their line, but look at Sherrick, just full line sprint, baby.
Really ran at that side where they were coming after Noah Lease rather hard.
That's right.
On the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, you can see Johnny Sherrick picking up 20 yards, and it's 1st and goal for Grand Forks Central from the 2-yard line. They look to try to strike back and gain the lead. The I formation with Lease under center. Sherrick is the tailback. Ball's on the ground. Lease just picks it up and finds his way into the end zone for a touchdown. We just talked about poise and playing with some polish. There's Noah Lease picking up a football and saying, don't worry about it.
Right.
I'll get us in. The American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This ball is put on the ground. Lease picks it up and just makes his way towards the goal line. What else are you going to do? He's in for 2 yards out of the Knights. Have a touchdown to push the lead to 5 at 12-7.
And they're going to go for 2 here. Sherrick is going to pound it in on the left side, so the Knights up to 14 on the scoreboard there. That 2-point attempt is good. I believe Sherrick, the ball carrier there, got to maybe reward him for the big play he had. Ryan, going back to that touchdown, nice job by Lease to remain composed and pick that ball up and kind of have the awareness to know, hey, if I can dive like 5 feet forward, I'm probably in the end zone.
And he did.
Nice play by him. And, some of those issues creeping back in for Central, a little bit of the, maybe unsure with the snap, but nonetheless, the Knights do capitalize and put 8 on the scoreboard. They pop out to a 14-7 lead. 7:16 remain in this second quarter on our Ultra Health System scoreboard.
And we'll keep it here. The timeouts are brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. During this harvest season, Big Jim's Tire is ready to keep you moving out there. If you have tire issues, they'll get to you in the field and make sure they keep you rolling. And our timeouts are brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. Apex Apparel gets the work done right. They get it done the first time. They get it done with quality at Apex Apparel. Central will kick it away, now leading by a score of 14-7 over Dickinson. Clock down to 7:16 to play, and you do get the sense now that you're kind of settling in for punch-counterpunch in this one. We thought it would be a good game, and it's turning out to be all of that here tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, this has been billed as a great game thus far, and we've seen it come out. I mean, these teams back and forth. It seemed like Central might be playing runaway team in the first quarter, but Dickinson with a nice answer. They're going to look to answer that Central touchdown yet again here.
We'll see Rylan Dobrovolny set to kick the football away for Grand Forks Central. Pair of deep men back again. That will include Glasser and Pullins for Dickinson. And another wobbly kick down the middle of the field, and again it gets over Glasser and will go into the end zone for a touchback.
But didn't he touch that ball?
I thought he did, but
he turned around and made it certainly seemed like he maybe got a hand on that ball.
Well, Brandon Walsh is our referee now, and he was right on top of that. And I've done some umpiring with Brandon before, and I would trust his judgment, but it was very, very close. In the meantime, if you're a Maverick fan, you got to be asking yourself, what's going on in the kicking game here? At some point, we got to field one of these. They've had 3 different squibs get through them today.
Well, either field one of them or get the heck away from them and don't make it close. You know.
Well, the thing is, that's a free kick, right? That's a live ball. So if Central goes down and picks it up at the 2, you're in real trouble at that point. And we'll see jumping coming up from Grand Forks Central on the defensive line.
Gage McNally getting caught off on the hard count there by Dickinson, Ryan.
That'll be a pickup of 5 yards for the Mavericks. But, getting back to that point, if you're wondering why you don't just scatter away from it at that point, well, I mean, there's a reason for that. And the reason is that ball gets by you and stays in playable territory.
True.
Central jumps on it. It's their ball. I mean, onside kicks can go all the way down the field if they want.
That's true. I guess it's if they recover it.
Here comes first down and 5. Stevenson out of the gun, play action. Rolling right side, off his back foot, throws incomplete. Intended for a new tight end of the game, that's Tucker Broughton, a sophomore that steps in. That position normally occupied by Colby Fasthorse, but Fasthorse lost on a hit near side of the field and was struggling to make his way off the field, and it may be a while before we see him come back for Dickinson.
I see him on the far side, Ryan, getting his gear back on, which is an encouraging sign. And Stevenson take a nice little lick there from Eli Thompson. A little slow to get up. Thompson making the most of his opportunity to get a nice one on the quarterback there. Second and 5.
Second down and 5 for Dickinson. And a ground ball snap to Stevenson. He's trying to run back and get it, and he does. They pile on to him back inside the 10. Stevenson comes to a sliding recovery, and that'll be a loss of perhaps 15 yards on the play. And then Dickinson got lost. They were sending in their punting unit on 3rd down. They were making the big old change of personnel. Instead, it's going to be 3rd down and 20 and a 10-yard loss on the play for Nate Stevenson.
Great opportunity, Ryan, for Central to capitalize here on a mistake by Dickinson. You got to get them off the field here, and you got to get the ball back in your hand. And you're looking at a very short field with the chance to double dip in the end of the second quarter, beginning of the third quarter.
Here comes 3rd down and 20 for Dickinson at their own 10-yard line. Johnny Sherrick showing blitz. He brings it. They pick it up. Now Sherrick gets free. Screen pass batted in the air. Picked off by Grand Forks Central. Screen pass batted in the air. Zethan Feldman comes up with a takeaway, and the Grand Forks Central crowd comes to life as it will be 1st and goal Knights inside the 10-yard line.
Nice pick there, and good job by Central, Ryan, getting their hands up. As you'll watch it here, a little bit of the tip drill that might come out in practice.
Yeah, up on that offensive lineman right there.
Nice, good little getting his hands up in the air there as Ryder McNally, Ryan, just tips that ball. And Central's able to flip this and turn this into a very short field.
So here comes 1st down and goal for Grand Forks Central at the Dickinson 7-yard line. We talked about turnovers as one of the keys to the game tonight. Dickinson commits the first. I formation with Anton Perales as the deep back. Under center, Noah Lease waiting for the snap. He's got it. Perales is met, and Perales is down back at the 10 for a loss of 3. Boy, it seemed like Dickinson was in the huddle. Like, certainly Isaac Lowry was in the huddle. Maverick nose guard coming across the line and hitting Perales before Perales had the football.
That's right, and Central gets backed up here. It's going to be, I guess, 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. They lost 3 on that play.
Yeah. You're going to have to be probably a little bit more multidimensional down on this end of the field. Maybe some play action, roll Noah Lease out, that type of thing. They're going to go back to the pistol in this situation, come out of the I formation. The back in the I was Eli Thompson, the fullback. He'll now be a tight end and motion from left side to right side of the offensive line. That will overload on the right. Another high snap for Lease. He's got it, looking to his left, steps up in the pocket, in some trouble, shaking and baking, and spins his way down to the 10. To get back to the line of scrimmage.
A little extracurricular here on the near side between, looks like Cole Crossley and unnumbered Central player. We'll see how long that goes on today, Ryan. Central comes up with 2 short plays here, and it's 3rd and 10 now, 3rd and goal rather. They got to find a little something and try and put this one in the end zone and capitalize on that big interception from Feldman.
14-7, Grand Forks Central by 7, 3rd down and goal from the Dickinson 10-yard line. And Johnny Sherrick will come back in as the tailback in this situation. Noah Lease again out of the pistol. They'll motion Zaid Martin from right to left across the line. High snap, Lease has got it again. Rolling left side, pressured, throws, and it's batted down, incomplete. He was trying to go into the end zone, but contacted by Cooper Orton. And here comes Rylan Dobrovolny. He's going to come back onto the field to try another one. He's been 2 for 2 on kicks so far tonight, from 35 and 29, and this one would be from 27.
Yeah, baby. You love a little special teamer, Ryan. Looks like Lease might have had Bruce in the back of the end zone there, but Dickinson doing a good job and holding stout and trying to limit Central to just 3 here on that real short field for the Knights.
For a 2-score lead, kick is on its way, and it is nothing but net. 3 for 3 tonight for Rylan Dobrovolny. Central makes the turnover pay to a point. 3 points on the play. 17-7. Knights on top. Timeout for Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. This is our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for 2.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for 2 for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports, as we get ready for another kickoff from Rylan Dobrovolny, who's 3 for 3 on kicks tonight, 35, 29, 27. Central takes advantage of an interception, took over at the 8, but gained no yards. As again, with Naz Fisher on the sideline injured right now, maybe some options in the backfield might be a little wanting for Grand Forks Central. We'll see how they adjust. In the meantime, Rylan Dobrovolny, who's confounded Dickinson with his kicking game tonight, will push this one towards Glasser. He's got it cleanly at the 1-yard line. Glasser setting up middle return, sidestepped a couple of tacklers and got a big block. He's outside the numbers, near edge 40 to the 45, and Rylan Dobrovolny goes after him. That's something that Austin Englert, the head coach of the Central soccer team, is not going to want to see his goalkeeper doing, but nonetheless, it'll be 1st down and 10 for Dickinson near midfield. Well, let's take a look at the Vegan Construction Game Look-In, brought to you by Vegan Construction, designers, builders, engineers. Quality work in the area for over a century. 3 field goals, a touchdown for Central. A good scoring drive for Dickinson so far tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, it's been balanced offense. It's been good game back and forth. Of course, Central with the big interception, the first turnover that actually ended up in the other team's hands tonight. Central has put the ball on the turf a couple times tonight, but Knights hanging on 17-7, 4:30 left here in the second quarter.
Little end around this time for Pullins. A flag is down. Pullins is in all kinds of trouble in the backfield, shaking tackles, and now down as Brooklyn Bruce finishes him off back at around the 41. A flag came out initially. We may have a blocking infraction coming up against Dickinson.
Yeah, if you're Central, you just hope that flag is on Dickinson so that good play can stand.
Right, well, then you might decline the penalty at that point as well, right? So,
tentatively, Ryan, it's a loss of 7, so it'd be a nice little negative play or good play for Central's defense, rather, if it sticks.
And I would think that that's what you would do at this moment is you would find a way to hold on to the distance rather than the down. Let's see what they do here.
They signaled for false start there, and Central, of course, going to decline that penalty. 2nd and 17 from their own 42. Here come the Mavericks.
So here comes 2nd down and 17 after a loss. Let's call it 2nd down and 18 after a loss on the play of 8 yards for Caleb Pullins on the end around. And out of the gun, Nate Stevenson on 2nd down and long. He steps into a throw right side. Pass is caught along the boundary and rubbed out of bounds. Paxton Lyson, his first catch tonight, up at around the 48. He'll get a lot of the loss back. 7-yard pickup for Paxton Lyson. This is a big 3rd down coming up. 4 minutes to go in the game. Clock is halted. I should say, rather, first half clock is halted. And we've got 3rd and 11. Central get a stop here. You get one more chance of the ball before the half, already leading by 2 scores. Big momentum play coming up.
That's right. Yeah, and it's an opportunity to maybe just continue to tack on what you can. Of course, they did get that interception, but it'd be nice to get a stop here and get off the field for the Knights. And Dickinson, you want to hold on to this ball and grind away this possession.
Stevenson, shotgun snap, pressured, rolling away, throwing off his back foot, caught up around the yards to gain marker, and incomplete is going to be the call. Good diving catch made by Shane Ciani, but out of bounds on the play, so here comes 4th down. And you would think that the punting unit's going to come in for Dickinson, and it will. Jackson Braun will come out of the field. The Knights leading by 10. We did see Naz Fisher on the sideline, gloves back on, over by a coach.
That's right.
And maybe right now the thought process would be second half. I think if you're Jake Schauer, you wouldn't push the issue, have a chance to get in the locker room and talk with him and see how it goes there.
Give it a little time. You know, honestly, if I'm Dickinson, if I pick up any positive yards in that 3rd down, Ryan, I'm really thinking about going for this on 4th, the way their defense has been playing the last few possessions.
Kick is away, rather short punt. Brooklyn Bruce catches it at the 30-yard line, looking for a block. Stiff arms man that is knocked out of bounds on the near side by a very active Cooper Orton tonight, who's in on the punt coverage team there. He's been a good defensive back tonight for Dickinson. And Bruce will bring his team out to the 39, where it'll be 1st down and 10 Central. They lead 17-7 on the All-True scoreboard. Our coverage tonight brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR, where the PS stands for painless shopping. They can show you a number of makes and models of garage doors in their warehouse on the Industrial Park. That'll be at 4733 Demers, right on the other side of the I-29 overpass in Grand Forks. 1st down and 10 for Central, their own 39. And the Knights with 3 receivers. Twins strung to the right side of the field. Shotgun snap, new quarterback in the game, and Naz Fisher's back in as well, looking for a place to run with the football. Nearly got stripped as he came off the left tackle, then lurches forward and got to the 45 for a gain of 6 yards. Brody Ledegy, the sophomore, steps in to take over the quarterback spot, and Fisher will pick up 6.
Two notables here. Ryan Fisher first grinding through 7 yards and taking a couple punches on that football, so his hand seems to be doing okay. And Colby Fasthorse back into the game for the Mavericks.
So both teams get their players back on the field. Good news
notables
for both
as well.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 4 for Grand Forks Central from the 45. Stick around at halftime. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from the opening half of football that we have for you tonight on our halftime report, brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine and High Plains Water. Another end around, Trey Clausen, and again, he's got room to work with. And look at that wall of blocking outside the numbers. Clausen, the 30, the 25, Burners at the 20, run out of bounds at around the 15-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 deep inside the Mavericks territory. Should be a gain of 42 yards on the play for Trey Clausen, and it's 1st down and 10 deep inside Maverick territory.
And Ryan, we're kind of seeing a theme for Central here. These drives have been slow, grinded out type yards. You get a big play from Zaid Martin. Clausen breaks a big one. Perales breaks a big run. Central doing a nice job at picking up some big burst yards, and they'll be well into the red zone for the Mavericks here. 2:51 remaining, looking to strike.
1st down and 10 for Grand Forks Central. The Dickinson 13-yard line. Knights leading by 10 right now. Have a chance to go up 3 scores on this possession downfield. Fisher is the back. Ledegy is the quarterback. It's Fisher left side, sucking in, driving outside. Got the corner outside the 10, down to around perhaps the 6. Actually, going to step him down to around the 4-yard line. So Naz Fisher, quick hitter, pickup of 9 yards. 2nd down and 1 coming up for Central. Clock will halt again with 2:45 to go.
Just a shaking up Naz Fisher, picking up 9 for you in the red zone, Ryan.
Absolutely not worried about taking a hit.
Ridiculous, huh?
You know, Naz Fisher was one of our videographers last year. He stepped in and ran a game for us, and just a great kid. Really down-to-earth type of kid. 2nd down and 1 from the 4 of Dickinson for Central. And again, Brody Ledecky, the quarterback. He'll motion the tight end Eli Thompson from left to right. It's Fisher up the middle, into the end zone, touchdown, Grand Forks Central. Naz Fisher gets in from 4 yards out, comes back from the injury. Fisher gets into the end zone on a great drive running the football for Central, and it's now a 23-7 Knights lead.
And Fisher getting rewarded for his 9-yard pickup on first down. He gets a 5-yard slam in there, Ryan. Nice touchdown run for Fisher. Central going to try and tack on their PAT. They're going to go for 2 here.
And they will, and that will not be as successful as the first opportunity. So the lead will be 16 for Grand Forks Central, 23-7, with 2:41 to play left in the opening half on our All-True scoreboard. We'll take a timeout as we continue along with our coverage of high school football tonight here in Grand Forks. The Knights leading the Mavericks 23-7. This is our coverage of high school football. The Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network at KNOX Live Sports.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports from Cushman Field in Grand Forks tonight. Central getting downfield, big play from Trey Clausen for 42 yards to set up a score. Naz Fisher back into the game after being injured with a 4-yard touchdown plunge. And the Knights lead by a score of 23-7 over the Dickinson Mavericks as Rylan Dobrovolny will kick the football away. End over end towards the near side of the field. That hits out of bounds. That'll bring out a flag.
It goes out of bounds.
So we'll see a penalty marker.
So it'll be a penalty marker.
And Dickinson, who has not had great field position tonight, will get an opportunity to have a little bit better field position now. Halftime report is on the way. And again, we'll take a look through the first half highlights and total things up for you as well with the numbers that we have from the first half of play. All coming up, try to catch some scores from around the area as well. Tonight, Grand Forks Red River playing at Minot North. Big test for the Rough Riders as they take on the number 1 ranked team in the state of North Dakota in AA football tonight. Now we'll be out in the Magic City. Dickinson from the Queen City making their way here to Grand Forks and the Grand Cities tonight. And it'll be first down and 10 for the Mavericks at their own 35 after the penalty on the kickoff that goes out of bounds. Beautiful night here. Mid-September night in Grand Forks. 4 receivers. Hard to believe that regular season is a third over after tonight, right? 4 receivers each way. Nate Stevenson waiting out of the shotgun. Knee-high snap. Steps into a throw right side. Little comeback. Ball's on the ground. They're going to say this was incomplete. Probably the right call there. Dylan Glasser had his hands on it. And then in the long run ends up putting it down as he is hit. And that'll bring up an incompletion, and it brings up second down and 10. So far tonight, Nate Stevenson has been contained. 397 yards through the air in his first couple of games, but we've got him for 2 catches for 11 yards tonight, or I should say 2 completions for 11 yards so far tonight. Dickinson's tried to make a statement with the running game, and they've had some success. 4 receivers on 2nd and 10. Stevenson floats a screen pass right side. This is Wyatt Turner out of the backfield. Turner breaks the tackle and has a first down. Up and around the yards to gain marker, he'll have the 46-yard line gain of 11 before he's flushed out of bounds by Eli Thompson. There'll be 11-yard pickup on the screen pass to Turner. And it'll be first down and 10 for Dickinson. So the Mavericks trying to get on the move. Still plenty of time. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left. And I would think with Nate Stevenson, Adrian, this is your forte, right? Short game situation here, 2 and some change. Give him the ball,
You
right?
took the words right out of my mouth, Ryan. With Stevenson in the backfield, you know you have a chance to actually make the ball, get the ball down the field quickly in this one.
First down and 10. Play action again. Stevenson, little 3-step back pedal. Going to throw over the middle of the field. Pass incomplete. Intended for Caleb Pullins, and that's one that if you're the Mavericks, you're going to say, we got to have that ball. That's right in front of the safeties, put right where Stevenson wanted to put it, hit Pullins on the hands that he couldn't reel it in.
And had him in open space, too. I mean, Pullins would have probably tugged that ball in about the 35, and it's debatable if Central would have been able to grab him. But like you said, Stevenson in the backfield, that's what your playbook is. You can spread this ball wherever you want. You actually have a threat of getting down the field quickly.
2nd down and 10, ball at the 46 of Dickinson for the Mavericks. They trail 23-7. 4 receivers, twins each way. Stevenson again to the shotgun. Just a 3-man rush for Central. 8 back in coverage. Stevenson looking to bust out of a pile down after a short gain. And a flag comes down at the end of the play. Not sure if somebody got on Stevenson late. It's at the 49. It would be a 3-yard pickup right now for Nate Stevenson, but it seems to be in the vicinity of a defensive penalty against Central, and that's what they're saying. They're going to mark it off against the Knights. And looks like a tripping call against Central. Don't see that very often.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
10-yard penalty, and that's after. That'll be a 10 yards from the end of the run for Stevenson. So Stevenson picks up 3, and then they'll tack on 10 yards on the tripping call. Apparently, somebody tried to put a size 10 out in front of the quarterback and bring him down that way. 1st down and 10 with 4 receivers. Stevenson again, a 3-step back pedal again, pressured. He'll roll to the right, looks for a receiver underneath. He's got a man, and tiptoeing on the sideline is Paxton Lyson. Tries to stay in bounds, got near the yards to gain at around the 31, and they're getting ready to move the chains. That'll be a 1st down. Paxton Lyson picks up a 10-yard catch.
And Central is just getting so close, Ryan. I mean, they're just fingertips away from bringing him down in the backfield. And they've done a nice job of getting pressure. But again, this is the threat that Stevenson poses. He can pretty much cut and dice you wherever he needs to. Central's got to get some of this pressure home for them to try and stop Stevenson in his tracks. He's marching the ball down the field.
The way Stevenson plays, it's probably going to look like you're getting close to him all the time, but he's got a clock. He's got a clock that's really good at knowing when he's got to get rid of it. Here Central brings a blitz, and Stevenson's in some trouble. Steps up, again gets away from pressure, rolling to the far sideline, and is escorted out of bounds by Tyson Vanyo along the boundary on the Dickinson sideline. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds back at the 33, so that's technically a sack. It'll be a loss of a couple of yards. So here comes 2nd down and 12 for the Mavericks.
And Fisher with the big blitz from the second level there, Ryan. Timed it absolutely perfectly. Got through the nose tackle and then kind of ran into the next layer back there. But Central wants to show pressure, and they want to force a negative play on Dickinson here.
2nd down and 12 for the Mavericks. Clock is halted with 1:45 left to go until the half. Central leading 23-7. Stevenson with time. Throwing to the right side. It's Wyatt Turner out of the backfield. Has the corner and is knocked out of bounds outside the numbers at around the 21 of Grand Forks Central. That's a pickup of 12 based on the near side spot. And another 1st down. Wyatt Turner, another catch. And they're finding a way to sort of put the ball in his hands. He's got 2 catches for 22 yards, and that one to go along with 11 yards rushing tonight. They're kind of making him a versatile back.
Yeah, it was a nice play call, catching Central in the flat, kind of in a soft spot in what they want to do defensively, and he's able to roll out and pick up a nice little set of yards there.
Not only that, but Dickinson tonight on this drive has looked very good, and they've used very little time. As we'll see Anton Perales come in to spot Naz Fisher, but the clock down to 1:38 to go, and
just 1 minute off the clock since they got the ball.
Yeah, and yet you would think Dickinson's had the ball for about 5-6 minutes here with the way that the drive has been executed. They've done a really nice job. Paxton Lyson lining up to the right in the slot. Stevenson waiting for a snap. He's got it. Rolling to the right side, looking for Lyson over the middle, and it's incomplete, nearly taken away. Brooklyn Bruce went up and got his hands on one, and by all regards, Dickinson should be celebrating a touchdown right now because Lyson got through everybody and was open. The ball just a little underthrown, and Brooklyn Bruce had his hands on it, couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, I'm watching Lyson break in the backfield, and I'm thinking, here we go. I mean, he's marched him down the field and put the ball right in the end zone, and Bruce just pops up out of nowhere, read Stevenson's eyes, and was just lucky that ball was underthrown. And he still was just stretched to his absolute fingertips and nearly brought it down.
Our player spotlight tonight. Hard to believe that kid was told a year ago, you're never going to run again. Here comes 2nd down and 10. Stevenson will motion a receiver from left to right for the Mavericks. Takes the snap, in some trouble, throwing right side. This one is picked off. Eli Thompson has got it. Thompson is on his way down the sideline. No one's going to catch him. It's a touchdown for Grand Forks Central. Pick 6 for Eli Thompson. It'll be 81 yards.
Bingo, baby. Big pick for Central there. Thompson, excellent play. Just jumped the route, Ryan, and took that one the other way. The big man, Eli Thompson, nice play for him. Central puts the brakes on what was a beautifully developing Dickinson drive.
Let's take a look at it in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and you'll see the throw out to the flat telegraphed, and Thompson just makes a great break on the ball. And when you throw to the wide side of the field, there's nobody home. Thompson checks over his shoulder, but he goes to the end zone for a touchdown. And Grand Forks Central takes a 29-7 lead on a pick six with 1:22 to go.
Do we have that for 79 or was it 81?
I had 81. I think they had 80 over in the booth. I had 81. Split the difference, 79.5. It'll work.
Right.
It's 6 points. Dobrevoli on for the extra point kick. It's on its way. That one is no good. He pushed it wide to the right. It will remain a 29-7 lead for Grand Forks Central. We have a timeout for Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. This is our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of Grand Forks Central Knights football tonight. The Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Eli Thompson, 81 yards on a pick six for score. And Grand Forks Central will take a 29-7 lead with 1:22 left to go in the opening half of football.
RC Eli Thompson comes in on our stat sheet at 6'2", 215. You would not be able to tell with the
That's
adrenaline.
A lot of speed.
Oh, for a big boy, I mean, he just is. Obviously, he's pumped up. He got
He's
a great
a tight
pick.
end linebacker. That's not like a defensive back reading up. I mean, that's a linebacker.
That's right.
Out in the hook in zone coverage, right? Jumping a route. Let's first of all, he jumps a route, right? And then goes down the sideline and scores.
And just absolute hustle play by him, and it was real. Was that ball inbounds?
Hit the goal line. Crosses the plane that's going to be out there.
Imagine that if it was a yard ahead. Central would have fallen right on top of it.
Let's take a look at it again. Let's see the distance on this because there's some talk about how far this is. I want to see where he picks this off from. And right over there, yeah, okay, 79. Yeah, that'll be 79. Let's go ahead and go with 79. You're right about that. Adrian had it at 79. I had it at 81, but I was on the wrong side of the 20. So 79-yard pick six. And it's first down and 10 for Dickinson at the 20. As Central's now scored 10 points on turnovers tonight, which again is something we talked about. One of the big keys to the game, turnovers. A field goal and now a pick six. Actually 9 points on turnovers tonight.
And Central just pulling all the wind out of Dickinson's sails, but they put together a nice drive. I'd look for them to maybe try and do the same here again.
Stevenson throws the ball away incomplete, being pressured on the near side by Zethan Feldman. You know, the unsung heroes of this game tonight, Adrian, are the defensive backs. Zaid Martin, Brooklyn Bruce, Tyson Vanyo, Trey Clausen. Because many times tonight you've seen Nate Stevenson drop back looking to throw, and there's just no place to put the football. The coverage has been excellent downfield.
And we've seen maybe 2 or 3 balls where, you know, that of note that Paxton Lawson play in the end zone that Bruce nearly intercepts. I mean, that's one where, okay, the guy got free. They had another one in the middle. Pollins got free. But other than that, Central's done an excellent job of covering the throw tonight.
Stevenson throws to the far side underneath. Pass is caught there by Paxton Lyson. And Lyson will pick up 12 yards on the play. That's his third catch tonight for 29. And it's a first down coming up for the Dickinson Mavericks. The clock down to 1:07 to go. Again, halftime report coming up. Our halftime report will be brought to you this evening by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, will give you a game summary. We'll run down the highlights that we have for you in this one tonight, run through some of the offensive numbers as well, as I believe a timeout has been taken here. And I believe probably by Dickinson. With the ball at the 35.
Yes, Central will get the ball to open the second half as well, Ryan.
Yeah.
So This Knights team that has had a really, really nice second quarter. And like I said, we will talk about that a little more in our halftime show. But this Knights team has had a very, very nice second quarter, and they get a chance to keep on the pressure early in the third here.
The only, I guess if you're trying to be hyper-technical or hyper-critical tonight, they've had 3 catches tonight. 14-yarder for Zaid Martin, 22-yarder to Trey Clausen, and a 20-yarder that was a screen pass for Johnny Sherrick. But we haven't seen them stretch the field effectively yet. That's the one thing that we're waiting for from Grand Forks Central offensively tonight.
And they haven't had a ton of protection in the pocket. Dickinson has sent extra guys at times, which makes
high
it
snaps
tough.
haven't helped that.
Oh, right. The whole rhythm gets off on the snap, but I'd like to see them try and maybe push the field in the second for nothing other than just kind of getting the experience and getting used to it.
Stevenson dropping back on 1st and 10. Again, looking late for someone to pop open. The pass incomplete. Was that Brooklyn Bruce playing
Zaid
Superman
Martin.
on that? Zaid Martin? Okay. And Martin gets up hobbled. He just he flew through the air like Spider-Man, and now Zaid Martin is down.
Must be cramping.
I mean, he went flying through. Oh, no, I think he pointed at the no-no square. That's what Ryan Kuntz and I call it when you are in a hockey game and you get hit in that wrong spot.
Can't he just hobble off here?
I don't know. He tried to come back into the game, and now he's hurt. I'm not sure what happened here.
The no-no spot.
That's my son came home with that term, and we decided that's the one that we do because you never know what to say, right? And so
that's right.
It's a nice. I mean, if it works for the elementary school kids, it'll work for us. So something wrong in the interior of the leg there. So it's been kind of a second. The first quarter went by with a breeze. The second quarter started with no tempo, and now is really dragged out because of the step up in the throwing of the football, trying to stretch the field, that kind of thing. And Martin's up. I don't know. He's putting no pressure on his left leg.
Hopefully
That's
this
not good.
is just a quick trip to the table for him, and then he's back out for the second half.
When you're not putting any weight on it, that doesn't look like a quick trip to the table, though. That looks serious. That's not good news. I mean, I understand a guy making a hustle play diving at a football, but that ball's 4 feet out of bounds. I don't think you're going to get a pickoff on it anyway, but hopefully we can get Zaid Martin back out there.
Next man up mentality for Central looks like Kaiden Murph is going to come in and play in that corner spot. Look for them to target Pullins here.
Second down and 10. A step back by Stevenson. He'll throw right side. Come back route again for Dylan Glosser. Glosser is his second catch. That'll be up around the 45, perhaps 10 yards. They haven't moved the sticks yet. Clock will halt with 57 seconds left. That will be enough. Couple of catches tonight for Dylan Glosser for 14 yards. And 1st and 10 for Dickinson at the 45-yard line of Dickinson. Clock down to 57 seconds to go. And here come the Mavericks back to the line of scrimmage. 4 receivers each way. Stevenson waiting for a shotgun snap. A blitz coming from both middle linebackers for Central. They get to Stevenson, but he throws the football, and it's caught along the far boundary by Paxton Lyson, who will have a gain of 8 yards. Stevenson knew he was going to take a hit. Both interior linebackers coming on the blitz, and he still completes the ball for 8 yards. We see a lot of things out of Nate Stevenson we like tonight.
Absolutely, and Dickinson has really found that the little comeback route on the sideline has been a really effective play for them. I mean, they've basically been throwing to the sidelines since about 2 minutes and 40 seconds in this game.
Well, it's an adjustment. So we talked about the defensive backs being so good. Central's not going to let you. They're playing a deep cover 2 zone right now, right? So we'll take the underneath stuff, move the ball down the field. That's what's there for Dickinson. Second down and 2. Stevenson stepping up in the pocket, in trouble, maneuvering away, hit, dropped, quarterback sack. Finally, the Knights finish one. Naz Fisher will get a piece of it up front. Also a piece coming up for Grand Forks Central's number 53, Ryder McNally. He's had a big night off the bench tonight for Central. That'll be 3rd down and 7. It'll be a loss of about 5 yards in the quarterback sack.
McNally, just a solid frame, and he's getting rewarded for it. Like we said, Ryan, Central's just been fingertips away from Stevenson all night long and finally hitting some pay dirt. You want to talk about that cover 2 deep zone. I mean, that's what you get out of it. Absolutely nothing home for you downfield, and that allows your defensive front to get a little extra time to maybe get around their guy.
Yeah. For those of you unfamiliar with the term cover 2 zone, obviously 2 safeties that play even across the field. They play back behind the corners, and they play towards the middle of the field, and the idea is to keep things from being deep out there.
Being long.
Right? You keep things in front of you at that point. It's you kind of refer to it as that bend but don't break defense, and that's why Dickinson's picking things up underneath right now. Now, typically, The play that you go to beat that would be your tight end on a post route between those two safeties, right?
Something right in the middle of the field, right
but
in the basket.
We haven't seen Colby Fasthorse, who is their starting tight end, targeted tonight. Again, he was shaken up earlier in the game, and I don't see him on the field right now.
No, it looks like he's come out again, but he was back. Seen with his helmet off on the far side now. He was playing some defensive snaps, but I guess I'm not sure if he's been on the offensive side of the ball.
Here comes 3rd down and 7 for the Mavericks. Shotgun snap, more pressure on Stevenson. Throws a deep ball downfield and nobody home, but Grand Forks Central on this. An over-the-shoulder catch is made by Tyson Vanyo. 3rd turnover of the opening half for Dickinson. Perhaps works as effectively as a punt in that situation, but nonetheless, it's Central taking over at the 20-yard line.
Hard to turn down yet another interception. Central's 3rd of the night, Ryan, but maybe you take your chances on a punt there.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Central at the 20, and the Knights will very likely come out and put this one into a halftime mode.
Looks like the receiver just kind of gave up on the route, Ryan. It was a well-thrown ball by Stevenson, and it had some air underneath it, but for whatever reason, the receiver just did not interested in carrying on.
Lots of highlights coming up here at halftime, so stay with us for our halftime report. We'll get to it as we get started. Central will come back onto the field, pistol formation, and you'll see Anton Perales as the back from the 20-yard line for Grand Forks Central. Noah Lee's taking the snap. He drops back, looks to throw a deep ball to your side. Brooklyn Bruce goes up to make the jump ball catch. He's down to the 46, and Central might be calling for timeout. Be a 26-yard pickup for Brooklyn Bruce on the play. Bruce has his first catch tonight. And with the clock down to 27 seconds, and here's the X factor, the leg of Rylan Dobrovolny.
That's right.
We've seen tonight, we think, what, do you go about 44, 45 yards on his range, something like that, Adrian?
Well, it depends, Ryan, because he's had some balls that have been high in the post, but they've been moving a little bit left to right for the most part. So if you can get him, I think, on the left hash, you probably have a better chance of him hitting a deep field goal. I would say 42, 48. I mean, he's probably in that range. You know, Connor Fuchs, Jamestown High product, has like 44 under his belt. He's got a chance to beat that tonight, I think.
If you split the difference and go 40, let's say 40 yards for Rylan Dobrovolny to give him a chance at a good, makeable field goal, that means you got to get down to the 23.
That's right.
So right now you would need another 31 yards of offense. And you've got 27 seconds. The Knights have 2 timeouts. Whether one. Nope, they haven't taken one off the board. They have 2 timeouts to use.
And for Central, what's encouraging is seeing Lease actually throw the football.
Yeah.
And he found a nice wide open Brooklyn Bruce.
1st down and 10. Trey Clausen motions behind the line of scrimmage for Central. They have the ball at their own 46. Lease rolling, designed to the far side of the field. Looking downfield, throwing underneath, passing complete. Eli Thompson, the intended target, ball was behind him. Clock down to 22 seconds left to go.
Cheddar on the coverage for the Mavericks.
And we'll see a 2nd down and 10 coming up for Grand Forks Central. So now you start to gauge your opportunities here. You have the timeouts left. You can still run Naz Fisher. He comes back into the game. You still have the opportunity to run the ball if you want. I would like something misdirection here again. They've had some success with that tonight.
They've had some really nice success with misdirection. I was even thinking maybe draw a little bit. Let the kind of the game. I mean, it's
delay draw.
That's right. Clear passing situation. You know they're going to maybe stretch the field and let Fisher chug for some yards underneath and maybe try and skirt out of bounds. Right?
4 receivers, 3 to the left on 2nd down and 10. Shotgun snap. They're going to throw quick out near side. Bruce out of the boundary down to the 48. Be a gain of 6 perhaps. And here comes a 3rd down and 4.
Just 3 seconds off the clock. Yeah. That's nice.
And that will be the 2nd catch tonight for Brooklyn Bruce. 31 yards for Brooklyn Bruce to the air. Here comes 3rd down and 5.
The other thing is this playbook for Central has got some elements of being unpredictable. They've got the kind of the reverse type misdirection plays. They can run. They have shown now that they can pass. Everything's on the table for them right now.
Yeah, Clausen in the slot on the far side of the field. That would be a prime place to kind of run that misdirection coming back to the short edge if you wanted to do that. 3rd down and 5. High snap. Lee's going to call his own number, get behind a lead block. He's just going to go upfield, pick up a 1st down. He was met hard as he got to the 40, but that's a pickup of 9 yards before he got a sticking on that play at the end from Devin Height. But that'll stop the clock, and Central will take a timeout as the ball goes to the 40, clock to 13 seconds.
And that ball was, I believe, supposed to belong to Naz Fisher, but again, a high snap there, and Fisher's smart enough to keep moving and just kind of follow the finger of Noah Lease and get out and block. But again, the snap issues, Ryan, coming up for Central here in the final closing moments of this first half. Ooh.
And we'll see the ball at the Maverick 40. So again, legitimately, we're thinking you need 17 yards if you're Grand Forks Central to give Dobrovolny something that he can make. And we're not talking about something that's automatic at that point. We're just talking about something that would be a legitimate try.
Yes. And he's got the leg. Does he have the accuracy? I mean, that's the real question. We've seen him boot the ball. I mean, he can kick that ball way up there. It's just how much movement is he going to get?
1st and 10 for Central at the 40-yard line of Dickinson out of the timeout. Again, timeouts brought to you tonight by Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. Noah Lease with 4 receivers. 3 to the left-hand side of the screen. Fisher waiting out of the pistol. A little bluff to him, then a throw over the middle to Clausen. That's incomplete. Broken up by Isaac Lowry, who did what every 11-man football coach wants his nose guard to do. Drop back in pass coverage.
Little screenplay for Central there, and the ball just a hair off the mark for Lease.
I mean, that's eyes up the field, I'll tell you what. So Isaac Lowry, the nose guard for Dickinson, read the play, saw exactly what they were trying to do, and didn't come upfield. I think you reward him for it, even though that's not the prototypical play from a nose guard, right? 2nd down and 10. 4 receivers, 3 left as Lease waits out of the pistol once more. Brooklyn Bruce to the right side of the field by himself. Lease looking over the middle, slings it. He's got Eli Thompson over the middle, inside the 20. Thompson to the end zone. Touchdown, Grand Forks Central.
How about that, Ryan? Thompson with 1 second left on the clock. Breaks a couple tackles, shakes a few more, and the Knights are in with 1 second left on the scoreboard.
40-yard catch and run for Eli Thompson with 1 second left on the clock. And Grand Forks Central takes a 35-7 lead. If they were to hit a 2-point conversion, they'd start the second half with a 30-point margin. That would put the continuous clock rule into play. And they're going to talk about things as to what they want to do on this play.
Ryan, I am going to tease my halftime, speech here, but this has been a 29 unanswered point quarter for Grand Forks Central.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like that, right?
No,
I mean, all of a sudden it's just you look at the scoreboard and you're in trouble. Let's take a look at that again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This is Lease looking over the middle, one of his better thrown balls, just a perfect spiral.
1, 2.
Thompson open, there's 2 tackles broken, 3 end zone, touchdown.
But that's what you get again on a big frame, someone like Thompson, 6'2", 215. You can't just one-arm tackle that guy.
Right.
And especially when he's moving, like you said, he's running a seam route right up the middle of the field. He's already picking up speed and he's gaining. I mean, it's just going to be tough to bring him down. Nice job by Thompson there. A couple big touchdowns for him back-to-back plays, RC.
2-point conversion attempt for Central, and this is important. If they get in, they start the second half with a 30-point lead over Dickinson and would have the running time go their direction, the continuous clock rule. So big play here. Lease a high snap, little counter. They'll go to the right, and this is going to be Trey Clausen walking into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. That's their Philly special where you got the opportunity to throw the football, right? But he decides just walk it in with nobody out there. 37-7, Grand Forks Central on top.
Sam Jensen and I were able to witness the Aleros comeback last year for this Knights team.
Double overtime?
That's right, against Fargo South, and they did run that little Philly special type play. Nice play designed by Central, and they're kind of throwing everything at Dickinson right now. Knights all over the Mavericks, 37-7. 1 second remains in this second quarter, Ryan. We're looking forward to our halftime show. Got a lot of good stuff, good scoring summary. Should be a healthy scoring summary. Some highlight reels will take you through. We're happy to have you here. Of course, you're listening to KNOX.
I don't know. We're not going to be able to get all the highlights in.
No.
But the fact of the matter is that you've got Eli Thompson on a couple of them. Pick 6, 79 yards, 40-yard catch and run for a touchdown. All the guys that we talk about tonight, the Naz Fishers, the Anton Paralysis, right? And Noah Lease factored into that because that was a great ball that he threw.
Oh, 2 in a
Eli
row.
Thompson, yep.
3 in a row, really, if you count that little sideline out to Bruce.
But Eli Thompson stepping up and having a night tonight for Grand Forks Central. Big part of what's happening right now. And we'll see one more kick from Ryland Dobrovolny. And then if it's touched, the clock probably comes to a halt, and that takes into the locker room. Dobrovolny with a ground ball kick. It is touched. It'll be picked up by Wyatt Turner, the fullback, who finds a little hole to work with in the middle of the field. And Turner will be down across the 40 to the 43, and that's how we're going into halftime tonight. Well, what a night. Grand Forks Central with a huge outpouring of offense in the second quarter. It's 31 unanswered points that the Knights will take into the locker room, and at the end of the opening half, your score on the all-true scoreboard is Grand Forks Central 37 and Dickinson 7. Our halftime report, including highlights, on the way, and our halftime report will be brought to you tonight by our friends at Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. And we're back with it coming up next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop proudly supports our local high school athletes on the field, the court, and beyond. Just like sports, adventure starts with the right gear. The Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure begins.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
We welcome you back to our coverage of high school football tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports, as we make our way to our halftime report this evening. And this one is a bit of a different game after the end of the second quarter than it was going into the first quarter, or going into the second quarter rather. Grand Forks Central leading by a score of 37-7 over Dickinson here tonight as we make our way to our halftime report, brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Ryan Cunningham and Adrian Cummings with you here tonight, and boy, what a second quarter we had there. This game was everything we wanted, 7-6, Dickinson in the lead, but we talk about turnovers. When we talked about our keys to the game tonight, Adrian, turnovers were on both teams' minds tonight. A pick that leads to a field goal, a pick that leads to a pick six. Big play for Eli Thompson at the end of the half, but those turnovers mattered. And then Central just playing physical football, and that matters tonight here as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I mean, the Knights with 17 points off of turnovers in that third quarter alone. They hang 30 on Dickinson to pop out to a 37 to 7. 37. I'm getting all jumbled up on the scoreboard here. This is as big of an offensive outpouring as we've seen from Central, but defensively on the side of the ball, they've played well. And like you said, at the end of the first quarter, we're thinking this is going to be a slugfest. Central's got 2 field goals on the board. Dickinson answers with a quick touchdown on their own. 7-6 early quarter 2. Okay, we're settling into kind of the football game that we maybe expected. And then out of nowhere, Central just wrecking the game wide open, a couple big defensive plays like we said, and they're looking the other way, and we're on mercy rule here at beginning of quarter 3.
Yeah, and I think one of the big stories tonight is Grand Forks Central's secondary, because when Dickinson has had the ball, they've tried to throw deep. That's what they want to do. They just haven't been able to find anybody to throw the football to, so they've settled for the underneath stuff. But that's kept Dickinson's fast-paced offense from really being a fast break type of offense, and then the turnovers in Central doing what they do with a physical game. That's been kind of the difference maker right now.
And what we've seen is the most success that Dickinson has been able to sustain. They've gotten some running plays and some scrambling plays out of Stevenson, but a lot of it has been kind of that 2-minute borderline prevent defense from Central, where that's fine, take your 10-yard out and take your sideline out, and that's fine. But now twice Central has bowed up in the red zone and got the football away from Dickinson 2 separate times. So they've done a nice job of keeping them out of the end zone. Dickinson's offense, I mean, Stevenson clearly can move that ball, Ryan, but we're not really seeing it consistently just in the kind of those last couple minute, segments, if you will. Really, since 2:41 in the second quarter and down, he was able to move the ball effectively. But Dickinson, a little bit stumped on offense early.
Yeah, they haven't had that home run ball that we talked about earlier tonight as well. And as we go through the highlights here, you'll see that they're kind of wanting for some of that right now. But let's go through what we've got here so far tonight as far as how this happened back in the opening half. And again, our halftime report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. It gets started with a couple of field goal kicks tonight. Rylan Dobrovolny coming over as the soccer kicker, the goal keep for the soccer team. This one from 35 yards away. Dobrovolny perfect on it. Made it 3-0 early in the game. And then later, Dobrovolny, this one capitalizing on a turnover as well. This one from 29 yards out. And Dobrovolny makes it a 6-0 lead for Central. However, it was Dickinson that got down the field. Some missed tackles and some missed opportunities defensively. They go to Wyatt Turner, who plunges into the end zone from 3 yards out. All of a sudden, Dickinson was up by a score of 7-6 at that point.
And this is the point of the game, Ryan, where you think, here we go. We're kind of settling into a slugfest.
Right, and then this happens, right? The end around and a huge running play for Grand Forks Central from Zaid Martin that sets up an opportunity for the Knights to strike back, and the Knights do strike back on a broken play. This was a fumbled snap, but Noah Lease just picks it up, does what he can with it, gets his way into the end zone. Central struck back, and that was the start of 31 unanswered points that they would have tonight. This one a give up the middle of the football field for Naz Fisher after an injury. He gets into the end zone for a score. And then later, this was the big blow. Eli Thompson, pick 6, goes away from 79 yards to make his way up the field. And Thompson wasn't done yet. That was just one play. Here was another at the end of the half that would cap the scoring. Thompson over the middle takes a perfectly thrown ball from Noah Lease and then chugs his way into the end zone for a score, breaking tackles along the way. And right now, Grand Forks Central currently with the big lead of 37-7 over Dickinson at halftime. Those are your halftime highlights and summary, and it's brought to you tonight by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. High Plains Water is the place to go when you want to get the chemicals out, get the taste in to your water. No more scaly buildup around your fixtures, and you're going to have appliances that work like new and work longer when you can have the opportunity for treated water. Also, cleaner laundry with less detergent, all at High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. And Grand Forks Welding and Machine, they are the Men of Steel at Grand Forks Welding and Machine. This harvest season, broken or twisted shafts, you have holes that need tightening, they're ready to put that together for you so you can keep things working in the field this year. Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, bringing you our halftime highlights tonight. We'll go through the scoring summary and our first half numbers as we continue along with our halftime report tonight as well. Here at the break, it'll be a mercy rule to start the second half. Central leads Dickinson 37-7 on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with Harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Central leading Dickinson 37-7 as we get ready to start the second half of tonight's matchup. Our halftime report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. While we have the opportunity here at halftime, Adrian Cummings, why don't you take us through the scoring summary that we had in the opening half? We'll take a look at the numbers as well.
RC, I'll take a nice big deep breath, a lengthy second quarter report for you. This one got started off by a pair of Ryland Dober-Volney field goals in the first quarter. First one is good from 35, might have been good from 50. Second one is good, a little chip shot from 29. Knights up 6-0 on the scoreboard. Start of the second quarter is where things got interesting. Dickinson gets the ball and drives right down the field. Slamming in the 3-yard touchdown run is Wyatt Turner. Point after attempt is good. Dickinson pops out to a 7-6 lead. And pretty much from here on out, we're talking Central forward with 7:16 remaining in the second quarter. Noah Lease handles a bad snap and dives underneath off of the right guard for a 3-yard touchdown dive. PAT good, 14-7 Knights. This is where things get interesting here. In quarter two with 6 minutes and 24 seconds left, Feldman grabs interception at the 7-yard line. It's tipped actually by Ryder McNally. Feldman comes up with that interception, and the Knights are able to capitalize and put 3 on the scoreboard there. Dober-Volney, courtesy of a 27-yard field goal. That interception was returned to the 6-yard line. Knights go negative on 2 plays. But again, having that kicker, Ryan, they're able to capitalize on some different types of drives. So Dober-Volney puts his third through the uprights with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left. Knights have a 10-point lead, 17-7. Then it gets interesting. Naz Fisher comes back in the game after exiting briefly with what looked like a left hand/wrist issue. He gets rewarded quickly on the Knights. The Knights get a short field from what I remember. He gets rewarded very quickly as a 4-yard touchdown run, 23-7 Central. Eli Thompson with 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining in the second quarter takes a nice pass off of the hands of Nate Stevenson. Whoop! Takes it 80 yards down the field. 29-7 2-point attempt is no good. And with 1 second remaining, Thompson, the same guy, gets a 40-yard seam route and breaks through 3 tackles and puts that one in the end zone. Our final score after 2 quarters, Knights lead 37-7. That is 31 unanswered points in that second quarter, Ryan. 3 field goals for Dober-Volney, a couple big interceptions, 3 interceptions the Knights have on the night, 17 points off of turnovers. I mean, it's just been a incredible night for them. That last touchdown, to remind you, that was Tyson. What the heck is his last name? I'm spacing out. Vanyo picked up that lofty ball from Stevenson, and Central goes right around and turns it up the field and puts points on the board.
Yeah, and here's the interesting part of the first half numbers as we put those together for tonight. Grand Forks Central will outgain Dickinson 285 to 151 in the first half. And if you go through the first half and you think about it in your own memory, you can't find 285 yards of offense for Grand Forks Central. You just can't. It's just not there. But the individual numbers, Eli Thompson, a catch for 40 yards and a touchdown. 2 catches for Brooklyn Bruce for 31 yards. Johnny Sherrick, a catch for 20. Trey Clausen, a catch for 22. And a run of 42 yards. Zayden Martin, a catch for 14. And 29 yards on the ground for Naz Fisher, rushing the football. 147 through the air for Grand Forks Central and 133 on the ground for the Knights. 285 total. And for Dickinson, 151 yards of total offense. They throw for 73. They run for 63. But here's the big factor in the running game right now, and I actually may have to redo their total. In fact, I do. It'll be 162 yards of total offense. That will include 74 yards of rushing for Dickinson. 60 yards of that coming from Nate Stevenson, 11 for Wyatt Turner, and that's where the rushing yardage really sort of grinds out. Turner has 2 catches for 22, Dylan Glasser 4 catches for 14, and Paxton Lyson, he has 4 catches for 37 yards. So again, they've thrown the ball, it's been underneath, they haven't hit the home run as of yet.
And mind you, Ryan, of those 60 rushing yards for Stevenson, save for a 53-yard scramble for him where the Knights could have taken him down for, at first, a loss, and then at second, a 2-yard gain. This run game and their yardage totals look a whole heck of a lot different for Dickinson. They're really in some trouble, but they get a big scramble from Stevenson. Props to him for making the play, but Central really had a chance to bottle him up in the first half, and this could look a lot uglier on paper than it is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and right away, Central has the opportunity to start the third quarter by taking complete control of the game, and here's why we say that. There's a continuous clock rule coming up here, which means that if Central goes out of bounds the ball, that type of thing, but they keep driving the ball up the field, nothing's going to stop it. The only thing that will stop it will be our media timeouts that would take place. So if you get the ball and start driving down the field, you can really shorten the game here in the third quarter of football. All right, Dickinson will kick it away to start the second half of play. And the Knights will have 3 men back deep to receive. Jackson Braun is the kicker for the Mavericks, and the kick is away. End-over-end kick towards the near side that's short. It'll be taken by Trey Clausen. He sets up return from about the 15-yard line. Hit it around the 25, and we'll see 1st and 10 coming up for Central at around the 25-yard line. And the real mission right now for Adrian, for Central, Adrian, the real mission is going to be just don't turn the ball over. That's the one thing that can turn this thing around. Hold on to the football. The clock is your friend right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be curious to see if the Knights do give Lease a break maybe after even this first drive and let Ledige get in there and maybe move the ball around a little bit. I mean, Central, like you said, don't turn the ball over, but Noah Lease has shown us that he's effective quarterback in a couple of really nice passes down the stretch in that second quarter. But for the Knights, to their benefit, they have a couple quarterbacks that they can work through and a couple different running backs as well.
Brody Ledige did have 1 possession in the opening half where he had the opportunity to play quarterback. Noah Lease with 3 receivers, twins to his right on first down, gives this ball away to Johnny Sherrick, looking to stiff arm man in the backfield, broke another tackle, and is tripped up as he got to the 30 for a gain of about 5 yards. We see a stop from Colby Fasthorse for Dickinson coming up with it. Gain of around 5 yards for Johnny Sherrick. And, you know, what's interesting about what we're seeing right now, that snap relationship has gotten a little bit better.
Yes, it's cleaned up.
And when you see that play happens, right, just a simple stretch play for 5 yards.
Well, and there's a couple plays where they ended it in short, or maybe it's Lee scrambling in that first half where, the snap is off and all the timing gets off. But it's the small things in football, right? It's doing your job, and it's all those little pieces that add up to really a smooth, functioning rhythmed offense.
Lease to throw, near side Bruce has the catch, and he's out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That'll be a gain of 11 yards. And, we don't like to talk about a quarterback battle at the high school level, and I get it, but Noah Lease is probably the guy to start, and Brody Ledige is going to be the reliever.
Yep.
But Noah Lease is not showing you he's in trouble right now at all, and that's just as good as a running play because, as we mentioned, the clock doesn't stop due to the continuous clock. You can go out of bounds and it's fine, right?
The only reason Noah Lease comes out of this game is so that you give Ledige some more looks and you continue to sharpen this dual-edged sword of you don't necessarily know. I mean, a lot of times we see when a backup quarterback comes in, okay, we're reverting to run. Okay, we're reverting to a pass in the flat. When you have 2 guys that are polished that have played throughout the season, Ryan, that really can change the complexion of how teams have to defend you. especially as the Central team looks to play on late this year.
Little counter play here. This will be Johnny Sherrick following a lead block outside the numbers midfield. Knocked out of bounds as he got to around the 42-yard line of Dickinson. That's going to be an 18-yard pickup, and what a beautiful play. Eli Thompson motioning to the right, and then they flood to the left with a pulling guard and the tight end just kick out a block. And big play that time for Johnny Sherrick.
And I'm wondering, Ryan, if given where we're at in the game, the playbook, it's too early to kind of shut the playbook down, but we're getting to maybe the end pages of the book, if you will.
Yeah.
They're doing all sorts of different stuff out here, but this is a chance to run some of your maybe bottom-of-the-bag plays against a real opponent. You're comfortable lead. Why not try it? Why not try a double pull scheme?
First down and 10 from the 42 of Dickinson. 3 receivers, and again out of the pistol, Noah Lease for Grand Forks Central. Johnny Sherrick is the back. Sherrick will get the ball. Again, a counter play. This time not as successful. Colby Fasthorse cuts him down back at the 44-yard line for a loss of a couple of yards.
You got to respect Fasthorse, Ryan. He celebrates a 2-yard loss the same as an 18-yard gain. He loves to make tackles.
He does. He's very physical.
Yes.
You know, I like where this Dickinson team is at. You know, you had mentioned we had a chance downstairs to talk with Dawson McLaughlin, who is a very, very young guy that's a head football coach. But you start to see some of the things that he's beginning to instill on this team right now. And he's got some guys that really like to play football, that's for sure.
Well, and a great guy to talk to in a community like Dickinson. I mean, I won't say quite it's a numbers game, but you're approaching that level of you got to get guys out and you got to get guys interested. And he's done a nice job of kind of making this Dickinson team interested as Sherrick goes right side here.
Yeah, Sherrick will grind it out. He's going to pick up about 6 yards up to around the 37 of Dickinson. Gain of 7, call it. So here comes a 3rd down and 5 for Grand Forks Central after Sherrick was tackled for a loss of 2. On the last play, he'll pick up 7 more, now out to 28 yards. On the ground, 20 through the air.
To make football fun again and to make it interesting for the young guys in the community of Dickinson, he's done a nice job of that. We were talking to him pregame. He coached at the NAI level last year with Dickinson State. And
special teams coach.
That's right. And now he's back coaching high school football. He played for, he's from Dickinson, and he played for Montana State. So, I mean, he's a bona fide football player. But he can get guys interested, which is the whole point at this level.
Really nice guy, too. 3rd down and 6. A blitz picked up. Lease throws right side. Pass caught again. Brooklyn Bruce sidestepping a man. He doesn't want yards. He wants 6. He'll take the yards. He's inside the 30 up to around the 28-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 10 yards for Brooklyn Bruce. And Noah Lease continues to throw the ball well and lead the team down the field right now.
Well, and how about this, Ryan? I mean, the majority of the first half, we're talking, right before the last drive, Lease has only thrown it 3 times. All of a sudden, we're coming out here, and he's throwing it left, right, center. It don't matter.
And the clock already down to 7:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. 37-7, Grand Forks Central on top. We've seen a couple of plays that have gone out of bounds, and it's not stopping the clock right now due to that successful 2-point conversion by Central at the end of the opening half to put up the 30-point lead. 3 receivers, Twins ride again, a pistol look. Sherrick is the back. And Lease is the quarterback on 1st and 10 for Central, the Dickinson 28-yard line. Sherrick, left side, outside the numbers. Big hole down the sideline to the 15 and dragged down from behind inside the 15 of Dickinson. He'll be at the 11-yard line where it'll be 1st down and deep. 17 more yards for Johnny Sherrick.
Sam, how about a muscle memory there?
That's all right. Not a problem whatsoever.
Ryan, I feel that Central is getting into the will-breaking mode. They have just kind of moved this ball wherever they want, preference to the left side, but Dickinson looks like they might not have any more answers for the Knights tonight.
Yeah, 1st down and 10, especially on this drive. This is the drive where you go down the field and you preserve the 30-point clock no matter what, right? You give up a score, it doesn't matter because you got one back to get started. 37-7 your score right now. And it's 1st down and 10 from the 12-yard line of Dickinson for Grand Forks Central. Eli Thompson motioning from left to right behind the formation. High shotgun snap. Sherrick hitting the hole, and he's down right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Just swallowed up in there. I believe that was Isaac Lowry again, the big nose guard up front. It's been a quiet night for him, but he's been noticeable when we've seen him out in the football game. He's a nice player up front for Dickinson.
Yeah, and he's been excellent in pass coverage as well tonight. He's done a nice job kind of blending into all 3 levels. And Dickinson has gotten pressure home throughout the night. I was going to make a comment, Ryan Sherrick. He's a little bit of a feast or famine type running back. It's either a 2-yard loss or a 58-yard gain.
High snap again, too, so you're slowed up by a half a step, right? And that really is the one thing that Central's going to have to work on coming out of this matchup tonight. You've got to have that snap on the numbers in order to make this timing running game successful. Second down and 10 for Central from the Dickinson 12. Another high snap. Lease goes to get it, and he'll be hit from behind. That's got to get fixed. There's just no way around it. That's got to get fixed up there.
And we're looking at a Central team that has pretty effectively and easily moved the ball the entire length of the field. And now all of a sudden we're shooting ourselves in the foot at the 10-yard line here because we can't get the snap right. I mean, it's 5 steps forward and 3 steps back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll take a look at the numbers as they come to the line. If it's still Ryder McNally, it is. McNally, the starting center tonight for Grand Forks Central. They feel good about their line unit, but that snap has just not been where it's needed to be tonight. So a loss there of 4, and it's 3rd down and 14 for Grand Forks Central at the 16-yard line of Dickinson. 3 receivers in the game, twins to the right. Lease watching that play clock. This time gets a good snap, drops back to throw, Coffin corner, looking for Bruce. Lots of hand fighting, incomplete. That ball up and over everybody's head. So 4th down, and in comes Rylan Dobrovolny. That took the clock all the way down to 4:40 left to go of the 3rd quarter play. Shortens the game dramatically when you get to that 30-point situation. And this one will be an attempt of 30 yards for Rylan Dobrovolny. He's perfect on field goals tonight, mixed to PAT, actually 33 yards, mistake. 33-yard field goal. He's hit from 36, 29, and 27
First
so
time
far
we've seen
tonight.
him. His only miss is from the left hash as well, RC.
So the kick from Dobrovolny from the left hash at the 23. Snap's a good one. The hold is down. Kick is blocked. So Grand Forks Central can't poke the 3 points through as the kick is blocked up front. And that means that Dickinson will take over on a change of possession. And that should bring us to our media stoppage that we have for tonight. So our media timeout as we make our way into the 3rd quarter. With 4:05 left to go in the 3rd, it's still Grand Forks Central by 30, 37-7. This is our coverage of high school football, the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. From Cushman Field tonight. Big thank you, by the way, to the Grand Forks Public Schools for working with us to allow us our media stoppages that allow us to continue to bring you the coverage that we want to do throughout the course of the year. A new thing this year, and I don't believe it's been terribly off-putting for anybody. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings, down below, Joey Springer on the videography work, Nate Stevenson out of the shotgun on 1st down for Dickinson. Dropping back to throw over the middle, pass caught by Lyson, who goes down to a knee at the 32-yard line. The gain of 12 yards for Paxton Lyson, who has his 5th catch tonight, 49 yards. And it will be 1st down for Dickinson with 3:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And with our partnership with the schools, Ryan, this has been my 3rd season now on staff with KNOX, and kind of the 3rd season of our, video forward partnership, if you will. Of course, we still love the traditional radio component. Nothing better than hearing the crackle of the airwaves.
Sure.
But this video component's been a nice add for us, and we're very thankful for the public schools and kind of allowing us to get some media breaks in. They've been very accommodating with their facilities. And not only in Grand Forks, but also in East Grand Forks. It's been nice. It's been welcome.
And we've enjoyed that partnership tremendously, and we believe that the public schools have as well as we've talked to them. And we're going to have an opportunity to branch out next week as a 1-yard pickup for Nate Stevenson under pressure. Brings up 2nd and 9. Next week on Tuesday night, para volleyball matches in town, Red River and Fargo North. And we'll have a chance to get out to Thompson for a nice Class A matchup there as well. Stevenson throws on 2nd down underneath. They were looking for a hole, and it's be a 1st down catch and run for the Mavericks, as the ball will be caught by a new receiver on that game. That's Ethan Luna, who comes in for the catch, and Luna will pick up 10 yards and a first down.
Ryan, the difference between hockey and football is that there's no charging in football. If you saw in that play, Naz Fisher is breaking from, I think, well near the middle of the field, just deadline sprinting at Luna. Just wanted to give him a little welcome to Grand Forks message.
First down and 10. Central brings just a 3-man rush. Deep ball down the field, and nice coverage down the field for Grand Forks Central. Breaks up a ball intended for Pullins. That was step for step down the field for Brody Schneider, who was down the field going up against Caleb Pullins, who's a good receiver. He knocks that football away, and it brings up second down and 10. Boy, Stevenson put that ball right where it needed to be.
It was an excellent throw. Actually, it was, like you said, it was a perfect throw, but nice pass defense. And the best part about that is the guy gets up, he doesn't celebrate, he doesn't put the sword away, he just walks back to the line of scrimmage and is ready for the next play. You love to see that, Ryan.
Well, I don't know if the familiarity is there, but Andy Schneider was here, the sheriff of Grand Forks County, doing some things. I'm wondering if that's not Andy's young man out there, right? Stevenson to throw on second down. That pass incomplete. Again, coverage from Schneider. And so if you're the son of the sheriff of Grand Forks County, you're not going to celebrate and do anything. You're just going to keep it low-key, right?
That's right. Hey, Jake Shower is no frills football coach.
Absolutely
and I love it.
Is, yeah.
No frills. Do your job. Get back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, when you think Grand Forks Central, you really think a blue-collar attempt towards athletics, right? Programs wide, right? And this is a group that thrives on that. They do such a nice job with it. Third down and 10. Stevenson dropping back. Lots of time, but no place to throw the ball. And this play is going to come back for nothing, or it will be declined as a penalty marker coming down, holding in the backfield. And I don't know, if I were Jake Shower, I may decide to take the penalty here because that flag is down way back at the 32. And you're looking at a 21-yard penalty if they mark it off from that spot. They're going to decline it, so it'll be fourth down and 10. And I'm not Jake Shower. He's smarter than I am. Let's go ahead and put it that way.
I probably would have taken the penalty, too. I mean, the way you're defending the pass right now.
Yeah.
You know, if you're getting absolutely shredded up the middle.
Third down and 30 at that point, right? So this will take us inside of a minute to go in the third quarter of football. It's been a very rapidly expiring third quarter due to the 30-point rule. Third down and 10 for Dickinson. 4 receivers from their own 43-yard line, Central leading 37-7. Stevenson dropping back, in some trouble, flushed again up the middle, and is hit and goes down to the 42. That will be a quarterback sack.
Ball popped out at the end there, but
they're ruling down by contact.
Yep, no bag comes out.
So here comes fourth down. And that may have been fourth down. It looks like this is a change of possession here. Are they running the punting unit on?
That should have been.
Yeah,
they declined the penalty.
So that they just didn't reset the down marker, so that's why they've got the clock stopped. Change of possession. It'll be first down for Grand Forks Central with a clock down to 35 seconds left to go here in the third quarter.
What just an all-out performance for the Knights tonight, Ryan. I mean, they have done tremendous in pretty much all aspects of this game.
They've done a wonderful job, particularly in the second quarter.
Yes.
You know, the only thing they didn't do well tonight was tackle at times, right? That got a little loose, and that gave Dickinson an opportunity to score. But once they recommitted to defense, they've been a really, really dominating factor, has Grand Forks Central in the game. First down and 10.
In comes Ledegy.
Brody Ledegy will take the snap, gives to Naz Fisher. And Fisher is thrown down by Isaac Lowry after a gain of maybe a yard for Naz Fisher, and that likely is going to take us into the fourth quarter of football. Clock down to 20 seconds left of the third.
My personal opinion, I'd like to see Ledegy throw the ball a little bit. Give him some confidence and see what his arm can do.
I would bet you the farm, your farm, and some other farm out there that he ain't throwing the ball at all.
I would imagine
so. This one tonight, this is going to be him coming out there to run this clock out. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter of football that we have for you tonight here at Cushman Field. It's all Grand Forks Central. They lead by a score of 37-7 as we go to the fourth quarter of play tonight. So stay with us. We'll come back with quarter number 4 in just a couple of moments. Central leads 37-7 on our All-True scoreboard. And a timeout for Big Jim's Tire and Apex Apparel. We'll continue with more next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports tonight. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings, Joey Springer, our videographer tonight, who's done excellent work tonight. We're so lucky to have him. 3 years that we've got him. I'm trying really hard to make sure that after he graduates from Central High School, whether he goes to school at College A or College B, I get him for a few more years, right? Second down and 9. Grand Forks Central from the Dickinson 41-yard line, leading 37-7 here tonight. A blitz. They'll run ball football away from it on the blitz, and we'll see a carry for Grand Forks Central's number 31, I believe.
That's correct.
That's a numbers change. They don't have, oh, they do, yes. That's going to be Carson Cutterba. My apologies. Carson, I think they had him at 32. Carson Cutterba for 5. They really like Carson Cutterba. Had a big touchdown run last week against Jamestown. Just a young guy that's a sophomore, but you saw the burst of speed there. A blitz from Dickinson. He ran right away from it and picked up 5 yards.
Well, and Ryan, this is what good, successful programs do, especially in high school football, is, okay, you've got a comfortable lead, start mixing in the young guys immediately. I mean, they want to mix in the young guys, give your sophomores some experience, maybe some juniors who don't see the field as much. And when you get to the next man up mentality, like Fisher goes down in that first quarter, early second quarter, well, all of a sudden you've got 3-4 guys that have actually held the rock.
Oh, boy.
It's a big one here.
Cutterbutt just cutting it up over the middle, the 30, the 25, down to the 24. Cutterbutt ends up picking up 13 yards. There's a flag down at the end of the play. See if Cutterbutt was face masked. Usually you don't see a holding penalty that far downfield.
Yep.
Where Cutterbutt went down, and yep, this is going to be an inadvertent face mask. Tack on 5 more for Grand Forks Central.
But when you get a guy like Fisher that goes down, but you've got 2-3 guys behind him that have had, 15 carries apiece at this early part of the season, that's how you sustain at this level. I mean,
right.
You're able to continue to get guys to keep playing. We're looking at a sophomore quarterback here that maybe by this time next year when Lise has graduated on, our presumptuous starter is standing in front of us. Well, here's a guy that's got varsity throws already.
Right. And varsity carries for the guy that's going to come in for him,
That's right?
Johnny Sherrick will come in as the running back now for Grand Forks Central on 1st and 10, just inside the Dickinson 20, around the 19-yard line. Ledegy will motion Quante Henry from left to right, back left again. Sherrick up the middle, took a hit as he got to around the 18 and is down at the 18-yard line. Well, you had a chance to check some scores earlier tonight. Be nice to know if and what's going on out in Minot tonight, as we've got Grand Forks Red River in action out there tonight, taking on the Sentinels, the number 1 ranked team in the class tonight and this season, at least right now in the poll. So we'll take a look at some scores as we go through the 4th quarter on our All True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Ledegy out of the shotgun. Johnny Sherrick with him in the pistol. 3 receivers. And again, they'll motion Quante Henry. This time Sherrick up the middle, just bouncing forward. And grinding his way to around the 17, maybe a gain of a yard for Sherrick. And here comes 3rd down.
I'm trying to get into my scores app here, RC, but they are making me dual verify. Just give me 1 second here.
Don't we love dual verification, right?
Okay, some scores across the region at the double 8 level. Out in Devil's Lake, the Firebirds up 34-28 over Wapton. High-scoring game there. 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Central Cass hanging on to a 2-point lead at halftime. I believe Jamestown is going to get the ball. They lead 14-12. Fargo North over Fargo South right now, 21-7. Kindred all over Bismarck St. Mary's. I shouldn't say all over. Now up 20-0 with 6 minutes left in the 2nd.
Johnny Sherrick with a carry here. He's inside the 10, down to around the 7. That'll be a 1st down, a pickup of 9 yards for Johnny Sherrick, and it's 1st and goal Central.
Watford City up 28-6 with 2 minutes left in the 2nd quarter over Williston. And finally, the game we're keeping an eye on, Minot North up 21-6 at halftime on Red River. But I believe Riders are going to get the ball in the 2nd half.
All right. Trying to hang in there with the number 1 ranked team tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what the gap is, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's what you're looking for, a gap from top to bottom across the class before we get into conference play, which is still a couple of weeks left. I think this is the final one more non-conference game next week. And then you've got, or is it conference play next week? It may be. Brody Ledecky with Johnny Sherrick out of the pistol. On first down and goal, Sherrick working right side, trying to plunge towards the end zone, twists his way down to the 2-yard line, gain of 4. And it'll be second down and goal from the 2. I think there are 6 opponents in the league, if I'm not mistaken, and so that would mean that if you've got 6 opponents, you should be back into conference play starting next week, I would think. But
there is, I see.
Or are there only 6 total teams in the league?
I'm looking at
Yeah, there are 6 total teams in the league, which means you've got 5. So you're going to have one more non-conference game coming up next week as we have an injury timeout on the field. So next week, one more non-conference game. Williston will come here to take on Red River. And Grand Forks Central may have a bye week. Yeah, I don't see Central
right?
on the schedule next week for September 19th.
I think that Williston game, Sam Jensen and I will be covering that.
Yes, you will.
Mistaken.
Yep, I will have a very lengthy road trip underway at that point. Actually, they just don't have it on the one schedule. Central plays at Watford City next week.
Talk about a road trip.
Yep, and then they'll come home, or actually they'll go on the road to Fargo South the week after for a 5 o'clock start, and that will be the start of conference play for Grand Forks Central. They'll take on Fargo South, and I'll tell you what, if Central goes out and handles their business against Watford City, I think Fargo South is waiting after that double reverse pass Philly special in the Alara Center last year to maybe pay one back on Grand Forks Central.
Well, not to look too far ahead on the schedule with that early game against South. I mean, Central has done well against who they've played, St. Mary's and Jamestown, and now, of course, Dickinson in front of us. But every game that they've had, we've sort of been like, well, this is the measuring stick.
Right.
And then they just blow the measuring stick out of the water.
Yep.
So I don't want to look too far ahead.
Second down and goal. Sherrick is the tailback. Quante Henry is the fullback. Ledecky's under center, and they'll give to Sherrick, who plunges towards the goal line. The tush push trying to get him in. He's not in. He'll be short right around the goal line, so here comes a third down and goal coming up for Grand Forks Central, leading 37-7. Clock down to 7:20 to go. Yes, you guys will be here, and by the time that game kicks off, I'll be closing in on something called Boise, Idaho.
Nice.
Yeah, my assignment with Valley City State that week will have me at Eastern Oregon University. That's a conference game, by the way. It's not a division game, but it's a conference game. They're in the same league, yeah. Yeah, and those of you in Dickinson that are Blue Hawks fans, well, you're in the same boat. You're in the same conference, right?
RCU like to put on the miles.
Ledecky trying to sneak his way in for Central, and he will wait. No signal yet. There it is. Touchdown. Brody Ledecky is in from a yard out for Grand Forks Central. And the Knights will take the lead to 43-7 with 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go and counting as the clock will run through the try. And Brody Ledecky gets in from a couple of yards out, and Central's got a big lead that's bigger with the clock halfway through the fourth quarter.
And it's encouraging, Ryan, because we've seen at times this Central football team, specifically this Central football team, really struggling to put points on the board throughout the season. I mean, they've had outings where 14 points might take the game. I mean, early this year, they've had absolutely no trouble putting points on the board.
39 last week against Jamestown, 43 right now with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And this one has been definitely a convincer of Grand Forks Central's ability. And yet the teams in front of them in the poll as Dobrovolny comes on and is able to wiggle an extra point through. Teams in front of them in the poll are going to be the teams that you're going to have to try to catch. And there's 2 good ones up there with Minot North and also with Kindred. We have one final stoppage, media stoppage, with the clock down to 5:48 to go. Central leading 44-7 on our Ultra scoreboard. Timeout for Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. We're back with more next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Tonight from Cushman Field, boy, a beautiful Friday night for football tonight. Absolutely no problems with the weather tonight. And of course, now the thing is, what we're hearing, at least in this part of North Dakota, is that the honeymoon could be over for the month of September. Lots of rain.
Is that right?
Yeah, that atmospheric river is back. We love these terms. Ryland Dobrovolny will kick it away. And this one will be driven to around the 2, where it's caught by Dickinson. Their new return man that's in the game is number 7, Carter Cheddar, or rather Caden Cheddar. And do we have a flag down or an injury?
Well, there were some extracurriculars near midfield on
No
some
harm,
guys
no-
just finishing their blocks, Ryan.
No harm, no foul.
That's right.
That was Owen Lutke in on the tackle.
And so we'll get ready to go with Dickinson taking over the 20-yard line and Central leading by a score of 44-7. Post-game report coming up. We'll take a look at a couple of the highlights that we have from this one. Post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage and by Ski and Bike Shop. We'll have that post-game for you coming up in just a bit. Drop back by Nate Stevenson. Hit, ball's out. And there's a battle for recovery. Stevenson will get it back at around the 15. Want to thank PS Garage Doors for bringing you our coverage tonight. Serving the region since 1974, PS Garage Doors, where again the PS stands for perfect service. If you need service on your garage door, PS Garage Doors. They can service any make and model of garage door. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. Second down and 15 for Dickinson. 4 receivers and a shotgun snap to Stevenson. Steps up in the pocket, flushed. Going to run out towards the near side of the field. Got to the 20, shook a tackle. To the 25, and is down to around the 29 for a gain of about 14. And it'll be third down and 1 coming up now for Minot. You know, we haven't said the old nickname all night. How about you and I getting that done, huh? For Dickinson. We haven't said their former nickname. Yeah?
I've been very on the edge of the canyon a couple times.
I feel good about that. I really do. I feel like we've been able to handle our business at that point. Here's third and 1. And Stevenson drops back, throws to the near side. Pass is caught first down up at around the 39-yard line. And the pass is caught by Dickinson's number 14. I believe that's Ciari. Let me see if I've got that right. Shane Ciari. I'll make the catch. First catch of the night for him. He'll pick up 9 yards. And it will be first down and 10 for Dickinson with the ball at the 39-yard line. And we'll see what Dickinson has in store for us as the clock ticks down further to 4 minutes and counting. A drop back and a look up the field by Stevenson. Wants to throw the bomb. Looking down the middle of the field. Pass is broken up and a flag. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to get Schneider for contact. If Schneider turns around, takes a look at the ball, he's going to knock that one away rather easily, but they're going to get Schneider for contact. And there was some contact on that play as they tried to target Glosser going down the field.
If he just turns his head a little bit, but he basically was just staring at his chest plate.
Yeah, and you can face guard, okay?
Yep.
But if you face guard, then you can't make contact. That's just the way that goes. And so you can't do that. The old you can't do that cheer, right? So
biggest gainer of the second half, I believe.
Yeah, it's a 15-yard penalty. That's the nice thing about pass interference at this level, though, is that when you've got a pass interference penalty at the high school level, it is a 15-yard penalty. It is not a spot foul. So that's good news. Out of the shotgun, Stevenson, a little hitch and go. Going to step into another deep ball over the middle, and he had Lyson, but he had him incomplete. Boy, you can see what he can do. I mean, it's been just about there a few times for night. Dickinson hits on a couple of those pass plays by a couple of inches, and Adrian, we're in a different ball game right now.
That's right. Well, they probably have at least 4 scores on the board. Definitely 3, counting the 7 they already have. But Stevenson, when he drops back, Ryan, he just looks like a legit quarterback. Loads the ball, nice. Turns it over his shoulder, nice. Flicks that wrist. Man, can he throw that ball well.
Second down and 10. Stevenson drops back, is in some trouble. Flushed out of the pocket, still rolling near side. Now going to take off for the sideline, and, well, Schneider gets him and nearly wrestles him out to the track. Actually, that's not Schneider that got to him. A little aggressive play that time coming from Gabe Flores out of the backfield. They'll move the ball to the Central 39. Gain of 7 on the play for Nate Stevenson, who's had a quiet 77 yards rushing tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a little, I don't know. It's been a little interesting for him. I mean, he's gotten big plays, and it feels like Dickinson has moved the ball quite effectively all night long. We just really haven't got rewarded with the scores, Ryan.
Right. And they needed a couple of those hitters tonight on the home run balls, right? Stevenson stepping up, looking downfield, still nothing there. Going to run underneath, outside the numbers, got to the 20, and then steps out of bounds at around the 18 with the clock down to 2:02 to go. It's 44-7, Grand Forks Central. And we'll see Dickinson. Apologies for the technical issues there. We'll get that straightened out for you. First down and 10 from the 18-yard line for the Dickinson Mavericks, trying for one more score here at the end of the game. 44-7, Grand Forks Central on top, 4 receivers. Stevenson picks up a low snap off the turf, throws to the right flat. Pass this time is caught. Lyson cuts back and lost the football as he made his way down to the goal line. He was on the ground when that one came out.
He was well down.
Yep. So here comes first down and goal from the 1-yard line.
Ball's been a little slippery tonight, Ryan.
It
Popped
has.
out a couple times, actually.
At times it
Both
has.
sides.
Yep. At times it's been a tough one to hold on to tonight. And the Mavericks looking to try to score one more here to get this one back to within 30, perhaps even 29 if they could pick up a 2-point conversion. Stevenson out of the shotgun on first down and goal. He'll give the football away, and it'll be the second touchdown plunge tonight for Wyatt Turner. Turner gets into the end zone for a Dickinson touchdown, and the Mavericks are back within 31 at 44-13. And here's the interesting thing about the continuous clock rule. It runs through the try. So right now, 40 seconds left as they being the Mavericks scurry on to try to attempt an extra point from Jackson Braun.
We could be well to the end of this game, RC, and it's really, really gone quite quickly for us tonight.
Kick is on the way for Braun. It is good. That will cut the lead to 30, and that will stop the clock with 29 seconds left to go. Again, our post-game report is on the way, and our post-game report will be brought to you this evening by Spring Advantage. Everything you need for spraying and application on your farm. The difference between Spring Advantage and their competitors is that Spring Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, seed tenders. 2 locations to serve you, Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Make Spring Advantage a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. And our post-game report brought to you tonight by the Ski and Bike Shop, where our own Sam Jensen has appeared in their commercial advertisement, bringing in a bike. I didn't know Sam was on bikes.
Oh, he's an active
You
guy.
know, we have a Trek bike from the Ski and Bike Shop. We had it for us, my wife and I. My daughter has taken it from us. And
It's a good shop.
She loves it. Trek bikes, skis, they want to get you moving any season of the year. They've got very knowledgeable staff that's there. They can help you out when it's time to make that purchase. And I'll tell you what, you grab one of those bikes and you feel like you're gliding around. I mean, they really have the good stuff.
Well, it's Simon and his crew does an excellent job, great service. I mean, for myself, a little bit of a snowboarder. I mean, excellent snowboard.
Really?
Fitting. Oh, man,
Okay.
they'll fit you for boots right there, and they do an excellent job. They bake them to your feet. I mean, the ski, they just...
Snowboarder, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Good personal service there, and same for the ski boots as well.
There's
And
a
actually
reason
they're-
why we call you Sunshine.
That's right.
You've got the hair for it, the mustache. Now you've got the snowboard as well, Adrian.
Like that?
We start calling you Ronnie Bass. Kick is away by Braun. And, this one's out on the ground. Dickinson may have it back. I believe they do.
A little bit of some inexperience of the twos there, Ryan.
Yeah, the kickoff is bobbled, and a fumble is recovered by Dickinson. As get a look at the name on that young man that just caught that football. I don't have my glasses on. Aiden Hull. Yeah, Aiden Hull recovers the fumble for Dickinson. I've now achieved the full got to have the glasses on to read a roster routine. It's not fun. So Nate Stevenson will come out with some new receivers to work with, maybe a couple of regular receivers. Stevenson stepping up in the pocket, flushed right side, throws towards the end zone. How about this? License in for a touchdown. 20-yard touchdown throw, and that will disrupt the continuous clock rule. It's now 44-20. Dickinson back within 24. If they can come up with 3 more kickoffs that are fumbled and 3 more quick touchdown passes in 17 seconds, they're right back in the game.
This game is going to look a lot closer in the box score than it did at from the press box. Put it that way.
Yeah, that definitely will be the case. As Braun is going to come out. Kick is on its way, and it is good. They were trying to make the clock run, but they actually did that correctly up here. The 30-point rule had been broken, so the continuous clock is not to run during the try when you got that going on. So the Mavericks get back on the board, make it 44-21. Next week, again, we've got a lot going on. We have 4 broadcasts coming up next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll start with Grand Forks, Red River, and Fargo North in volleyball. That will be on Tuesday night. Then on Thursday night, we will see Grand Forks Central and Fargo North in soccer. That matchup is on Thursday. Next week on Tuesday, we will have Thompson and Grafton in some Class A volleyball. Thompson, the number 1 ranked team in Class A volleyball, 8-0 coming into the first poll. And actually, I almost spoke 5 broadcasts next week because next week on Friday we'll have a pair of football games.
That's right.
East Grand Forks is returning home. And we will have the Green Wave matchup as well from senior high school to go along with the matchup of Grand Forks, Red River, and Williston.
Should be a nice week for us for RC. Like we talked about, we're happy to be partnered with the school district, but it's fun when you get to cover a variety of games. And I was talking to you a little bit. Now, I've been around the block a little bit during this gig, and you see some players develop over the years. You see some siblings, some familiar names, so it's good to get into kind of getting early into our fall sports coverage, but looking forward to another excellent year here.
Kick away from Narrum. So the turnover for Grand Forks, here's a slide. The turnover for Grand Forks Central, and they're not going to do it again. They turned it over on the last kickoff return. Blake Solberg catches the ball and slides in safely to home plate. And Grand Forks Central will come out in the victory formation and put a bed to this one tonight.
The Knights RC do come away with a convincing win. Going to look a little different on the scoreboard. Still 23-point win for them. You know, at one time this was a 38-point football game, 37-point football game. So Central showing it can flex the muscle. A little different when the twos are still playing against the Dickinson ones.
Yeah, something like that. But at the same time, obviously the test passed again for Grand Forks Central. That's the big thing, right? You go and you beat Jamestown, and you're not really sure how good they're going to be. You're not really sure how St. Mary's is going to be, how good St. Mary's is going to be. And then you come home against the Dickinson team that rolled it up on Williston last week and has a win and played Fargo South tough, and Central takes a knee with Brody Ledegy. And that's going to push us into our post-game report tonight. Stick around. Our highlights are on the way in a couple of moments. We'll run through the final numbers in this one. Our Player of the Game Award coming up, brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Our Finest Auto Trim, Finest Cover of the Game coming up as well. We got a lot to do in our post-game report, along with Points Against Hunger, brought to you by Northland Community and Technical College. A brief break for those of you that are with us, and we'll come back and pick up our highlights for those of you that might have missed some of the action from the first half tonight. Again, your final score this evening is Grand Forks Central 44, Dickinson 21, and our post-game report will begin next.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our number one.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job. If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started. From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
This is the KNOX Postgame Show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. Big win tonight for Grand Forks Central. They come home, win it officially by a score of 44-20, effectively a 44-7 type of lead tonight for Grand Forks Central before they finish this one off this evening. Post-game report brought to you tonight by Spray Advantage. Everything you need for spraying and application on your farm. Spray Advantage with 2 locations to serve you in Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps. They have, of course, the grain tenders, and or I should say rather the seed tenders, grain carts. Spray Advantage. Find them online. And the Ski and Bike Shop. Everything you're looking for when it's time to get moving. Trek bikes, snowboards, fitting for boots, skis. They've got it all to keep you moving at the Ski and Bike Shop, bringing you our post-game report tonight. Well, this one was interesting. We talked about Grand Forks Central having a test to pass tonight,
right.
Coming home against what we presume to be their best competition so far this year. And for a quarter, it was definitely there. Just a really devastating second quarter tonight for Dickinson, and a great second quarter for Grand Forks Central. Produced turnovers, capitalized on those, hit a couple of big plays, and Central's on a roll from that point forward tonight.
Yeah, RC, in that second quarter, the Knights were all over them in all facets of the game. I mean, offensively, of course, they moved the ball well. Special teams, a couple field goals, doing your business on kickoffs and punts, what you need to do. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, 3 interceptions in that second quarter alone, 17 points off of turnovers, including 2 touchdowns. 1 interception way down there, close, only able to grab 3, but off the other 2. Of course, Eli Thompson takes one 80 yards the other way. I'm sure we'll take another look at that play. And he also interception from Vanyo, kind of near what we thought might be an effective punt. And the Knights turn around and flip the field quickly in 40 seconds and get down to the score. So a huge second quarter for Central. And honestly, they played well in all 3 facets of the game. It was offense, defense, and special teams for them. I
thought really one of the unsung parts of this, we mentioned it a couple of times, so maybe it was sung after all, but the secondary for Grand Forks Central tonight, many times, you'd see Stevenson drop back for Dickinson, look downfield, wanted to go downfield, and just had no one to throw the football to. And, you know, Grand Forks Central got pressure bringing 3 and 4 because the defensive backs just did such a nice job of covering tonight.
And I think the difference between this Central team and some we've seen in the past is this is a team that can legitimately defend. I mean, they're good obviously up front because their guys in the back are taking care of the business. I mean, obviously their secondary is the strength of their defense, which is, you don't always necessarily get that in high school, and you don't always get that in a lot of good teams as well. But this Central team can defend legitimately, and like you said, you're getting pressure with 3 and 4 guys because your quarterback's got to dance around like he's playing happy feet back there. It's just an excellent. The way this team is built, Ryan, is very good. Knights after their best starts in 2004 moved to 3-0 in the season.
And they're built like a Grand Forks Central team that's going to be successful as well. As we step to take a look at some of the highlights that we had for you in this one tonight, and we'll run through some of the things that we had for the first half more than anything tonight. The second half kind of got away from us here. But, you know, to get things started, big play early that we talked about, and this is the capability that Central will have to try to get the scoring started. Rylan Dobrovolny from 35, 36 yards on a field goal tonight did a really nice job. He had 2 of those early, and Grand Forks Central had a 6-0 lead. But this is where Dickinson threatened to make this a game tonight. They go to Turner in the backfield. He plunges in from 3 yards out. But Grand Forks Central decided to respond, and they did so in a nice way. First around, some misdirection. This is Zaid Martin on a carry, able to move his way out towards the far side of the field, and he moves down. Actually, that might have been Vanyo, my apologies. That moves down the field and sets up what would be this broken play touchdown for Grand Forks Central. That's Noah Lease getting into the end zone on a ball that was dropped, but when you got that kind of thing going on your broken plays tonight, something good is happening. Then later, Naz Fisher showing what he could do, and he got some night off tonight after that injury, but Naz Fisher showing you the physical part of this game for Grand Forks Central tonight gets in, and that was the start of those 31 consecutive points that Central scored. This was the big play. How about Eli Thompson? 79-yard interception return for touchdown, and then when he wasn't doing that, Eli Thompson was going the other direction. We'll see if we can't find that play for you here. My apologies, folks, but I believe we still have that stuck right about here. This is Eli Thompson over the middle of the football field towards the end of the opening half, capping that scoring run for Grand Forks Central, breaking 3 tackles, getting in from 40 yards out. Just a heck of a player tonight was Eli Thompson, and Grand Forks Central capitalizes and makes it a 37-7 win tonight. Rather, 44-21, effectively 44-7, 44-21 final score tonight. Boy, we're going to take a quick break and come back with our awards, and we'll go through some numbers. But what do you think? You think Eli Thompson's got a shot at maybe picking up an award tonight, maybe 2? Wow, that was an unbelievable performance for him tonight.
He's got a chance, Ryan. You know, that interception where he jumped that route on Stevenson, in my opinion, that's where the game cracks itself wide open. We're in the dwindling minutes of the first half. Stevenson and Dickinson have moved the ball very well down the field. They're only down at that point, but it's a 2-score game as the Knights get into the school song here in front of us, Ryan. Right?
Absolutely, that's great to hear, isn't it? Yeah.
You can just see him in the bottom of our shot there. Right when this game is kind of on the edge, and Stevenson, if he can put a score in, all of a sudden we're talking about the Knights taking a 1-touchdown lead into the locker room, and they suddenly just flip the game on its head. So Thompson, I think he's got a good chance to be maybe one of our players of the game, RC.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a great situation for Grand Forks Central to come over and sing the school song. And I tell you, Jake Schauer was at Valley City State, and that's what they did at VCSU. They put that in, right? I'm sure it's a tradition here as well.
That's
but
right.
They're right over there in front of the student body right now. We'll take a final break in our post-game report, brought to you by Spray Advantage and brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop. When we come back, we'll wrap up with our player awards tonight, so do stay with us. Central wins it 44-21. We continue next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
This is the KNOX Postgame Show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school football tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports this evening as we bring you our coverage of Grand Forks Central taking on Dickinson tonight, and Grand Forks Central wins it by a final score of 44-7 in this matchup tonight. Ryan Cunningham, Adrian Cummings with you here tonight as our post-game report continues, brought to you by Spring Advantage and by Lake Region State College. So Adrian, just taking a look at some of the individual numbers tonight. First of all, for Dickinson, Nate Stevenson, 77 yards rushing, which, I mean, a nice blue-collar effort for Nate Stevenson.
Yes.
And I wanted to throw the ball downfield, just didn't have much of a chance,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But 77 yards, did what he could tonight. 49 yards on what would be 5 catches for Paxton Lyson tonight. That did not include the late touchdown, so I think you probably put that up to 69 yards on another catch and a touchdown there as well. But outside of that, 2 balls caught for Wyatt Turner, 2 for Dylan Glasser, a couple by the bench. There just weren't a lot of balls to go be caught tonight for Dickinson.
Just a negligible night, Ryan, all over the field. Otherwise, you know, for Dickinson, I thought Central did a nice job of defending, and Dickinson did a good job at time of picking up yards when they needed them. Again, notably that drive that was closing out the first half, I thought, here we go, they're moving the ball, they're getting what they need, and then Central just doing a nice job to kind of take care of business when they needed to. But yes, not a ton of notables. I mean, Stevenson every bit looks the part, and he has the targets, but Central was able to shut them down tonight.
Absolutely. As far as Grand Forks Central is concerned tonight, Eli Thompson, 1 catch, 40 yards and a touchdown, right? And then a 79-yard interception.
Yeah, also had an
return for
80-yard
touchdown
completion from Stevenson.
You could call it that, right? 79, 80, whatever, right? Anton Perales, 40 yards, didn't have to move the ball a lot in the second half, so these numbers aren't going to be all that large, right? Naz Fisher, 29 yards, had a touchdown to go with that this evening. But the balance is what jumps off the page. Johnny Sherrick, bruising 32 yards tonight. He had more than that, lost some on that fumble that came into play. Trey Clausen, catch for 22, the run for 42. That set up a nice drive tonight, right? Zayd Martin had a 14-yard catch. Tyson Vanyo had that big run tonight. So, I mean, a little bit of everything. No really big numbers jumping off the page for Central tonight. but a lot of balanced numbers. They've got a lot of weapons, and when they distribute the ball, it's going to work out pretty well for them.
Well, and I'd be willing to bet my paycheck from this game, Ryan, that if you ask Jake Schauer where he wants his yards to come from, he wants to have 7 players with 25-plus yards.
Sure.
He doesn't want one threat because one threat becomes one-dimensional.
Yeah.
It's easy to defend one good player or one good receiver, but when the Knights are spreading the ball out like this, like you said, Paralis with 44, Zayd Martin with a nice big play, Sherrick grinding some yards away, Fisher, Eli Thompson. I mean, we're talking about 6 or 7 or 8 notable yard getters in this game and not just one-play guys. I mean, that's what really is going to give this team an edge as we move on in the season is who the heck are you going to defend every single play?
That's a great point. Yeah, and that'll be the one thing that gets them back into a place where when they're up against some of those, really nice teams out there, they're going to have a chance in this one tonight. Let's go to our post-game awards that we have for you this evening. As again, Grand Forks Central wins it. Final score tonight, 44-21. Let's start with our PS Garage Doors Player of the Game Award winner, and it's brought to you tonight by PS Garage Doors, where again, 772-DOOR is the number to call. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. The PS stands for painless shopping. If it's time for a new garage door, they've got you covered. 4733 Demers on the other side of the I-29 overpass. You'll find them in the industrial park. They've got a lot of makes and models of garage door. Something special for those of you in agriculture, if your implements have grown to the point where they're larger than the frame that you put them in when it comes down to put them away, they can actually come to you and widen the door frame and then put in the right garage door. That's the kind of service that you get from PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. I got a really, really hard time sending this award anyplace else. Both awards really to the same guy tonight. And the reason why I say that is just for the simple fact that you got a guy that made 2 really, really big plays for Grand Forks Central tonight that sort of defined what this game was. So PS Garage Doors Player of the Game, Eli Thompson.
Easy.
Yeah, here's the catch over the middle of the football field from 40 yards out when the Knights were on that scoring streak. And he has to do a lot with this. He broke 3 tackles. He had the end zone in mind all the way there. I mean, you can't replicate something like that. So Eli Thompson, Player of the Game Award, brought to you tonight by PS Garage Doors. And again, the PS Garage Doors Player of the Game Award goes to Eli Thompson. Our next award is the Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game, and it's brought to you by Finest Auto Trim, where again, big or small, they cover it all. Finest Auto Trim specializes in recovering vehicle and marine seats. So if you've got a seat that needs recovery in your boat, something in your implements, if you're in agriculture, they can recover those for you so you get the right support out of all of those vehicles and you can feel good about what you have going on. Again, Finest Auto Trim, finest cover of the game. They also cover things that you keep outside to try to keep them safe from the elements. Finest Auto Trim brings you the Finest Auto Trim, finest cover of the game. That is the defensive award tonight. Well, I mean, here's Eli Thompson again, right? I mean, this is the defensive play of the game. 79-yard pick 6 for Eli Thompson. Yeah, sometimes we try to split it up, but I'll tell you what, Adrian, if you're going to be fair, he's the guy tonight, right? I mean, no question about it,
Well, and what a 2 minutes for him when you think about it. Picks that ball off with 1:20 and turns around as time is expiring, puts that big score in the end zone for the Knights. Tough to disagree with you with Eli Thompson. Some honorable mentions going. I thought the defensive front for Central did a nice job of shaking Stevenson.
And the entire backfield, right? Everybody back there could get the Finest Auto Trim, finest
Yes.
cover tonight as well.
It just all over great up and down blue collar lunch pail defense tonight, RC.
Absolutely. Our final item that we have for you tonight is our Northland Community and Technical College Points Against Hunger. This is a great award and opportunity that we have to share with Northland Community and Technical College. The way that our home teams score points this year, money is raised by Northland Community and Technical College. They donate to the Pioneer Food Pantry, and that money fights hunger in our area all throughout the course of the winter, which is going to be a big demand coming up this year. So Northland Community and Technical College teaming up with KNOX Sports and KNOX Live Sports to fight hunger. Tonight, Grand Forks Central's in the end zone 5 times. $5 will be raised tonight by Northland Community and Technical College. They'll make that donation, and that's cumulative throughout the course of the year. They do that for every game that we broadcast throughout the course of the season. So a good deal of money is raised at the end of the year. Tonight, it's a $5 dose from Northland Community and Technical College that will go to the Pioneer Food Pantry to fight hunger in our region. Final thoughts before we wrap this one up tonight, Adrian?
Ryan, I would just say that for this Dickinson team, they've got a long runway ahead of them. I mean, they played good football. They were pretty sound throughout the game. They just had a bad second quarter. This Grand Forks Central team, of course, our focus on the broadcast. We could be looking at a real legitimate threat to be playing in the Dakota Bowl.
Yeah.
After their best start in 20-some years, I mean, they're playing complete football all over the field. They have a quarterback that can throw the ball well. They have a bunch of targets. I mean, they have a field goal kicker. Love it. And they have a good defense. I mean, this is a Central team that could be very legitimate, and we keep saying, well, this game is a measuring stick. Well, this game is a measuring stick. Well, this game is a measuring stick. Well, they've measured up to every single person they've come across and beat most of them quite handily. I'm circling that Fargo South game, but next week will be another measuring stick. I mean, we'll see. The Central team is taking it week by week. They're 3-0, one of the best starts in program history. I mean, a lot to look forward to if you're Coach Jake Schauer or you're a fan wearing the maroon.
Absolutely. Next week, high school football twice on KNOX Live Sports. East Grand Forks will be on one end. Red River will be on the other. The Rough Riders are taking on Williston coming up next week. And our next broadcasts are on Tuesday. We'll have high school volleyball twice on Tuesday on KNOX Live Sports. Fargo North will come to Grand Forks Red River. That'll be on Tuesday night. And Grafton goes to Thompson for a Class A matchup. That'll be some bonus coverage for you here on KNOX Live Sports. Our thanks to Joey Springer for our camera work, our videography work, which was top shelf tonight. Adrian, thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you for joining us here tonight.
Absolutely, Ryan. We're happy to have you on our broadcast. And for Jared and Misty and RC, I think that's it for tonight.
Thank you. We'll see you again coming up later. Our final score tonight, Central 44, Dickinson 21. This has been our coverage of high school football on KNOX Live Sports and the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.